It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
U Sports on CBC and the road to the Vanier Cup, brought to you by the Government of Canada, Nike, Baron Rings, Veriburn Medical Supply, Fox 40, BioSteel, and by Wilson, makers of the official U Sports football.
Griffiths Stadium in Saskatoon, home of the Huskies. Today, they play host to the visiting Queens Gales in the 2025 Mitchell Bowl. Well, the Huskies were jolted this week with news that their all-star quarterback, Anton Amundrud, who'd been away from the program, Deschamps, for about half the season, has been diagnosed with lymphoma cancer. It's been a tough week. They've rallied around their quarterback and given Anton huge support. Now they have to play a football game. And now they have to rally around their first-year starting quarterback, Jake Farrell, who incidentally has been unbeaten since coming off the bench for Anton.
Yeah, this team is going to have to trust, believe, and rally around Jake Farrell, who, as you mentioned, is in his first year starting, and he is 5-0 through those 5 games, having thrown for 12 touchdowns and 1,200 passing yards. But most importantly, his best performance of the season came last week in the Hardy Cup, when he engineered a 15-point fourth-quarter comeback, which featured 2 touchdowns and 179 passing yards to launch this team back to the national semifinal.
His coach, Scott Flory, said, "This kid can play." How about Queens veteran quarterback, all-star Alex Vraken in his 5th and final year? It's now or never for him.
Absolutely. Alex Vraken, he's a Kingston native who grew up dreaming of being in this moment. He grew up idolizing the 2009 Vanier Cup team at Queens. This season, he threw for 1,300 passing yards and 18 touchdowns en route to being named an OUA All-Star.
Both defenses are anchored by menacing middle linebackers. Let's talk about the Gaels' Justin Pace. He leads a Wolfpack mentality.
Yeah, Justin Pace, he is a 6'1" linebacker from Montreal, and this season he was also an OUA All-Star, and he had 25 tackles this season, but he also had 24 tackles throughout the playoffs, combined with 2 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. He is not only the emotional leader of this team, he's the emotional leader of especially this defense that's become one of the best in the country.
I'll tell you what, Pace strikes fear in the eyes of opposing quarterbacks. For Saskatchewan, well, they've got the Defensive Player of the Year, Seth Hundeby, a CFL draft pick who's back for his 5th and final year.
Yeah, Seth Hundeby, he is a 6'3", 235-pound linebacker who, as you mentioned, is the Canada West Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. And this year, he had 41.5 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. He does it all. He draws back into coverage. He adds to the line and adds pressure. He truly is a generational talent.
So, Deschamps, we have 2 teams who run the ball with authority and 2 teams who have big physical defenses.
Yeah, absolutely. The Queens Gales, of course, the big thing with their defense is the secondary. Ball hawks, they get to the ball. They have 13 interceptions this season, amongst the best in the country. And for the Saskatchewan Huskies, it's all about that front 7. They can get to the quarterback, they can bring pressure, and of course it's seen through their 18 sacks this season. And of course, both teams have potent running attacks, ground game, of course is what they're known for, but of course they have great quarterbacks who can throw the ball through the air, put points on the board in so many different ways.
You said it all. all, I mean, this is a very evenly matched football game, and something's got to give. Stay with us, folks. The kickoff is next to the 2025 Mitchell Bowl in Saskatoon. It's Queens versus Saskatchewan for a ticket to the Vanier Cup.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
Where does bravery live? In Marie-Philippe Poulin, who went from playing in a boys' league to trailblazing a pro women's league. And in Cynthia Appia, who refuses to let the high cost of sports slow her down. It lives inside Piper and Paul, who use every fall as a chance to bounce back even higher. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
The field is fast and the skies are clear on an ideal day for playoff football in Western Canada. Forecast high of 2 degrees. The wind is light out of the south at Griffiths Stadium in Saskatoon for the 2025 Mitchell Bowl. The Queens Gales meet the Saskatchewan Huskies in a national semifinal for the first time in 36 years. Yes, going back to 1989. Lots of developments here in the pregame. Daniel Weeb was not out on the field for the warm-ups. He is the Canada West Player of the Year and the most outstanding receiver in that Huskies lineup, and then just moments ago left for the locker room. So we'll keep tabs on that to see just exactly what's going on with a very key component of that Huskies offense. Queens with a perfect 6-0 road record this year. The Road Warriors coming all the way to Saskatoon, as I mentioned, for the first time since 1989, against a team that's very hard to play against here in Saskatoon. The Huskies unbeaten and 6-0 at home in this colossal matchup. Two teams so evenly matched. The Gaels, 6th appearance in the national semifinals and first in 16 years. For Scott Flory and the Huskies, playing in their 16th national semifinal and 4th in the last 7 years.
And it's just a game between two teams from such historic programs. The University of Saskatchewan, along one of the most successful programs out in the Canada West, and of course the Queens Gales, one of the more successful programs in the OUA, finally getting out of the OUA after trying to break through the Yates Cup 3 times in the last 2 years, and now on a national stage looking to get to their first Vanier Cup since 2009.
Queens won the toss, they've deferred, and the Huskies will take the football with Caden Miller back to receive, along with their big running back, Riker Frank. Frank, of course, the keynote part of the Huskies offense, led them last year in rushing, rather last week in rushing and in receiving. Tyler Mullen kicks us off to open the 2025 Mitchell Bowl, and Caden Miller will let the ball bounce into the end zone, and he'll take a knee, conceding a rouge just seconds into this football game. It's 1-0 Queens.
Yeah, and we're going to see the offense take the field, and it's going to be led by, obviously, the first-year starter in Jake Farrell, who is 5-0 in starts for the Saskatchewan Huskies since taking over back in Week 6. So we'll see how Saskatchewan gets this game started. I expect them to probably hand the ball off to Riker Frank and try to establish the run game early, especially in the absence of Daniel Weeb early on.
Jake Farrell and the Huskies, 1st and 10 at their own 35. Daniel Weeb is in the locker room and has not yet returned. Riker Frank, lone man in the backfield. It's play action. They'll throw on 1st down. Is complete to Peachinen. Peachinen with a big gain, and he'll look like he'll have enough for a 1st down. A gain of 10 on the play to this young receiver out of Edmonton in his first year, who made his first career touchdown catch 1 week ago in the Hardy Cup.
Yeah, well, they didn't hand it off to Riker Frank, but play action pass right there. Peachinen finds himself open in the flats, enough for the 1st down. Want to get that first-year receiver hot early because they might need him throughout this game.
Liam Peachinen pitching in here with Weeb not on the field. 1st and 10 from the 45 for Farrell and the Huskies. Motion to the boundary. The handoff is to Caden Miller. Miller stacked up into the teeth of that front 7 of the Gaels. He'll have a gain of 4, maybe 5 on the play, and there's Justin Pace sticking his nose into the fray. This is a very tough and very physical Queens defense.
Yeah, and of course it's led by Justin Pace, and he's a player that could have been OUA Defensive Player of the Year. You see Justin Pace gets in there, Oliver Jackson off the end. They clog that up, stop the run early, and want to make a statement to that Saskatchewan offense that they won't be able to run the ball on this defense.
They can pressure the quarterback, they can stop the run. Right now, it's 2nd down and 6 for the Huskies, facing a 4-man front. Farrell under pressure, scrambles to the short side, throws it downfield, and it'll hit the turf. Incomplete. So Thomas Jule was the only receiver in the vicinity, but Farrell feeling the pressure from that Queens front early.
Yeah, and the Queens secondary gave a flat cover 1 look, a 4-man rush. The linebacker sat back in coverage. Justin Pace right there taking off. Liam Peachinen forces Jake Farrell to rush, leave the pocket, and of course no one's open. A great series for the Queens defense to start this game on the road.
Lucas Scott to punt, averaged 42 yards this year. Ian St. Arnaud is the lone man back to return for Queens. A high punt comes down to St. Arnaud at his own 22, and he's tripped up after a return of about 5 on the play. Ty Flory, one of 2 sons of Scott Flory, playing for the Huskies and starting here today, makes the tackle on special teams.
Yeah, and that's a great start for the Queens Gales. If you're the Queens Gales, great to have a 3-and-out for the Saskatchewan defense, and now if you're the Queens offense, it's your time now to kind of put some points on the board and at least get your offense rolling, make some movement downfield.
Alex Vraken, the 5th-year starter, an OUA 2nd team All-Star this season, coming back from 2 injury-riddled seasons. Vraken will pass on 1st down. Vraken gets it away, intended for Logan Walton, and he'll make the catch, and it's a 12-yard gain and a 1st down for the Gaels.
The Saskatchewan secondary sat back in the cover 3, took away all the deep opportunities, some shorter routes, a comeback to the sideline opened up, and Logan Walton was there to catch that on the sidelines and move the ball.
Hundaby had pressure for Saskatchewan, but Vraken, the veteran, got the ball away at a 12-yard 1st down pickup. Jared Kasari in the backfield. Play action, it's complete to Matt Camillo, and Camillo heads upfield on that bubble screen for a gain of about 5 yards on the play. And so we've yet to see the Gaels go to the ground as they open with 3 passes.
Yeah, 3 passes. They want to get Alex Vreeken and that passing attack warm early. Jared Kasari, he will get involved in this game eventually, but for now it's some of the short routes, getting the ball in the receiver's hands and establishing that passing attack early against this secondary.
2nd down and 4. Vraken in trouble, rolling away from pressure. He'll get the ball away, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. Intended for Logan Walton.
Yeah, and Cameron.
And there's some talking and some pushing and shoving behind the play as tempers flare early in this football game.
Yeah, Alex Freakin took a look at Jake Ashby-Jones to the boundary side, and Cameron Kahn had that locked up. You see Reese McCormick was able to get in there, bring the pressure, and force Freakin to throw the ball away. Almost a completion, but not enough to move the chains.
McCormick, a Canada West All-Star this year with 2.5 sacks with some early pressure on the Gales quarterback. They'll be forced to punt as 6'8" Matt Driver is set to deliver his first punt of the football game. Daniel Kabongo is back for Saskatchewan. He'll field it at his 27 and is tripped up out of bounds as Ashton Miller-Melanson makes the tackle on a short return. Kabongo and the Huskies on offense when we come back.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Chase something.
Let's go.
More than just a flag. Chase a goal.
Push, he said, chase it, let's go.
Chase something. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Chase me.
Nah, chase me.
Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL flag. Chase something.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Daniel Weeb, slot back for the Huskies, and the Canada West most outstanding player is back on the field and back in the offense for this second series for the Huskies.
Yeah, and Daniel Weeb is the most important player on this offense. As you mentioned, he's the Canada West MVP this season, 60 receptions, 926 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns, and he's also the program's all-time leading receiver. The offense flows through Daniel Weeb, and they're going to need him today if they want to have a chance at getting this offense in good flow.
Weeb, a Saskatchewan Roughriders CFL draft pick, also one of 9 players on this roster who played in the last time these guys were in the Vanier Cup in 2022. Weeb, a fifth-year player and so important to this offense, and a young quarterback facing this very difficult Queens defense. Riker Frank takes the handoff, bounces outside with a stiff arm, and is finally knocked out of touch. He'll have a gain of about 4 on the play. Riker Frank, Canada West All-Star, who rushed for 723 yards this season, but 1 yard under 1,000 all-purpose. He'll get you through the air and on the ground.
Yeah, Riker Frank does it all. This season, 723 rushing yards and over 200 receiving yards, and you see he gets his first carry right there. He's a big boy. He's hard to bring down, and so for him to get that first carry, he's establishing his dominance on this game and seeing what they can do in the backfield to try and stop him.
Second and about 5.5 yards. They go back to Frank. Queens is waiting for it. Frank crashing off tackle near the sideline. He'll be short of the first down by about 2 yards on the play. These Gaels are so tough on defense with Oliver Jackson and Stephen Capea on the outside. It's a defense that runs through its middle linebacker, Justin Pace.
Yeah, it's all about Justin Pace. He's all over the field. He can drop back into coverage and help defend the pass. He could add to the line and help pressure the quarterback. He is the leader of this defense, and don't be surprised if you see number 44 all over the field today.
3rd and 2, and so Saskatchewan forced to punt again as Lucas Scott stands inside his 25. It's a spiraling punt to the left sideline, and is picked up by Russell Weir, and he has no return as he is absolutely swallowed. Check that, Ian St. Arnaud on the return and stopped in his tracks by the Huskies cover.
Yeah, and Ian St. Arnaud, one of the more electric kick returners in the OUA, punt returners in the OUA as a rookie. I believe had 3 punt return touchdowns during his rookie campaign, but right there able to stop him early and not allow him to get off any yards. Great field position for this defense against this Queens offense.
First down for Alex Vraken, who was set up in tremendous field position last week in the Yates Cup against Laurier by his defense. Never really had to drive the field.
Absolutely.
He has a long field ahead of him here. The handoff is to Jared Kasari. Kasari breaks through a crack. Straight arm still rumbling. Running right through the safety, Ethan Lang, for a big first down carry on his first carry, the first team OUA All-Star.
Yeah, and you know what? Offensive lineman Daniel Sudak and Nicholas Henning created a wide opening for Kasari off the edge, and he was able to just follow his guard, find a hole, break one tackle from Seth Hundaby, and find a first down to get the ball moving. That's what Jared Kasari does. You give him opportunity and space, and he'll make you pay.
Kasari in his 3rd season after back-to-back All-Canadian seasons, another All-Star year for the OUA. Play action is a quick look into Jack Ashby-Jacobs, and he is felled quickly. A gain of 1 on the play. Jacob Goldstone, the 2nd-year linebacker, with a big play there. He's one of the leaders on this Saskatchewan defense with 44 solo tackles.
And you know what? Scott Flory told us, he said, I don't know why Jacobs Goldstone wasn't a Canada West All-Star. 6'3" linebacker, can move north, south, east, west very, very well. And you can see right there, can break up the pass, read the quarterback's eyes, and is a disruptor. And he did that right there on that play, stopping that screen pass for only 1 yard gain.
6'3", 235 in Biomed, out of Milestone, Saskatchewan. He's only 19 years old, and there's an injured Queens player. That's Jack Ashby-Jacobs, the sophomore receiver out of Cars, Ontario, being attended to by the Queens medical staff. Looks like it's an issue with his left arm.
Jack Ashby-Jacobs, the receiver that just made that screen pass and took that tackle on that play. Good to see him get up and walk off the field.
Running into Goldstone, and some damage done on that collision.
Yep.
2nd and 9, Gaels, 2nd and long, as they attend to Ashby-Jacobs.
Seth Hundaby added to the line to rush. Here comes the blitz.
Camillo to the wide side. Goldstone backs off. Pressure though. Vreeken in trouble, gets the ball away. And it's complete. They'll spot it. They'll have a word. No, they'll say it's incomplete. Looking for Logan Walton. And so it's 3rd and 9, and the Gaels now have to punt. This is beginning to unveil or develop much like we thought with these 2 dominating defenses.
Absolutely. The defense showed blitz. They dropped back into coverage. Seth Hundaby was spying across the middle. Alex Vreeken rolls out, and Cameron Kahn's right there to finish the play and prevent the first down and break up that pass, forcing the punt.
Walton, the 2nd-year man out of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And so the rangy Matt Driver with a 42.8-yard average will punt, with Daniel Kabongo, the transfer from the Western Mustangs, back to return for the Huskies. It's a short punt. There's a flag on the play. This will leave no yards against the Gaels, as Kabongo was quick to get on that football. A veteran athlete, Kabongo, coming to this team as a transfer in grad studies.
Yeah, you know what? Daniel Kabongo was a great player at the University of Western Ontario with the Mustangs for a number of years. His brother actually played here, Ted Kabongo. Let's get this call real quick.
Alan Laird is our referee today out of Regina. No yards is the call, as the official has some issues with his microphone. Jake Farrell,
round 3.
The youngsters out of Saskatoon in his 3rd series. 2nd-year quarterback, but a 1st-year starter, unbeaten since coming off the bench for Anton Amandroud. He'll go downfield. It's incomplete. There's a flag on the play, and this will be pass interference, as Jared Seaway was all over Liam Peachinen.
Yep, Jared Seaway was all over Peachinen on that play. It seemed like Peachinen was running the skinny post down the middle. Seaway was right there, but there was some contact before the ball got there. And of course, that's going to draw a flag every time.
Peachinen with a forced fumble and 9 solo tackles in that Yates Cup 1 week ago. So it's a 15-yard penalty. And a first down for the Saskatchewan Huskies. Seaway, a fifth-year veteran in this very experienced secondary, ball hawk secondary for the Gaels, with 13 interceptions this year to lead the OUA. Time now for Farrell. Gets it away, downfield, it's complete to Daniel Weeb. Weeb at the 10, cuts back inside, touchdown, Saskatchewan! The Canada West Player of the Year comes to the fore.
Daniel Weeb may not have warmed up with the Huskies before this game, but he was warmed up on the field today. As you can see, Daniel Weeb, we'll get the replay right here, ran a crosser over the middle, and Jake Farrell stood in the pocket, found his receiver, beat Ashton Miller-Melanson. Great blocking by Thomas Joulet to open the route for Daniel Weeb to find the end zone and put 6 on the board early for the Huskies. Great
Daniel
blocking.
Weeb with the first major of this football game. The point after from Lucas Scott is good, and the Huskies have taken the lead 7-1 after giving up that opening kickoff rouge. Farrell to Weeb, the kid to the veteran, and pay dirt for the Huskies. I got people talking over.
Elle revient toujours. Impossible de t'en débarrasser. Nicotine, si elle entre dans ta vie, elle ne te lâche plus. Même consommée occasionnellement, la nicotine peut provoquer une dépendance.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
Daniel Weeb, who looked like he might be questionable before this football game, not taking part in the warm-ups, then heading to the locker room at the start of the game, comes to the fore with a 41-yard touchdown catch from Jake Farrell and a 7-1 lead.
And that's what Daniel Weeb just does so well. He finds open space. He's able to find the open space in zone coverage, and Jake Farrell is able to find his receiver. They have that chemistry. And of course, Daniel Weeb is so lethal after the catch, able to pick up yards. And Thomas Joulet did an amazing job on the block to create that opportunity for Daniel Weeb to get into the end zone and score that touchdown.
Lucas with a kick to the Queens 5-yard line. And a decent return by Caden Miller, the backup, check that, by Cedric Smith, the young third-year slot back out of Oakville, Ontario. And so the Gaels go back to work, unable to mount much offense so far in this football game. First down, Queens at their own 30-yard line. Jared Kasari in the backfield with break it, play action, break it, looking to throw, under pressure. Charlie Parks swallows him after a gain of 3 on the play. Charlie Parks, another of the Can West All-Stars on this Saskatchewan team and a veteran from the 2022 Vanier Cup.
The defense came with a 4-man rush. The secondary sat back in cover 3, took away all options. The pocket closed down quickly. And of course, the Canada West Defensive Player of the Year gets home, gets to Vreeken, and brings him down for that sack.
Saskatchewan making things uncomfortable for the 5th-year quarterback out of Kingston, out of Frontenac Secondary School. 2nd and 7. Ball is away. It's complete to their H-back, Mateo Tuioti. And it looks like he'll have enough for a first down. The Gaels have 3 H-backs, and they are all 6'6", 6'4", 6'5". Big blocking backs, but in the case of Tuioti, big hands.
Yeah, and of course, though, this offense is led by Jared Cesari, the 3rd-year running back, who's also a Division I transfer, rushed for 954 yards this season, 9 touchdowns. He's big for this Queens offense.
First down, the handoff is to Kasari. Kasari crashing upfield. He'll have a gain of 7 yards before Ethan Lang, the Saskatchewan safety, came in to make the tackle. That's the thing about Kasari. He runs hard, he explodes into the holes. He came to Queens after transferring from the Division I program at the University of Massachusetts.
Yeah, and Jared Kasari does not go down on first contact. He normally breaks 1 to 2 tackles, and of course Ethan Lang, a safety, got in there, met him at the hole, and brought him down on 3rd contact.
2nd and 3.5. Queens. Vreeken gets the ball away quickly, a diving catch, and it is complete. Matt Camillo makes the catch for another Queens first down. The 3rd-year player out of Hamilton.
They brought the blitz. Alex Vreeken saw it coming, looked to the field side and saw Matt Camillo. McKillo stumbled a little bit, but he traced the ball, came down with the ball to secure the catch and moved the chain just a little bit.
Carter Stadnick, the field corner, playing well off the receiver. Vreeken again, loading up, going deep downfield. It's too far and falls incomplete, intended for Russell Weir, former quarterback who has switched positions to become a very viable receiver in this Queens offense.
Yeah, Russell Weir, obviously, he was a backup quarterback to Vreeken for many years. Made many big plays for this football program. Transferred over to receiver this season, and now is the backup for Nathan Falcone, who's the #1 receiver on this team. So you have your #1 receiver and then a former quarterback backing up the #1 receiver.
So Vreeken takes a shot. Now he's in a 2nd and 10 situation. Here comes the rush. Vreeken across the middle. It's incomplete. And so they'll have to punt. Lang came up with a football, acting like maybe he picked it up on a deflection, but the play is whistled dead, and the Gaels now will punt.
Yeah, Lucas Sheck was all over that play. Obviously, they went for it deep on first down, so you got to go for it again on 2nd down to keep this drive alive. Alex Vreeken stares down his receiver. Lucas Sheck is all over it and breaks up that pass to force this Queens offense off the field. A great job on this drive by the Saskatchewan Huskies defense.
Matt Driver set to punt to Daniel Kabongo from the 50. Big, high, towering punt, but it drops out of bounds just across the 25-yard line. They'll spot it at the 24, where the Huskies offense, fresh off their 41-yard touchdown to Daniel Weeb, will scrimmage when we come back.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
The road to the 60th Vanier Cup ends next Saturday in Regina, and CBC TV is your home for exclusive coverage of Canadian University football's biggest game, the 60th Vanier Cup Championship, next Saturday at 2 Eastern on CBC TV, CBC Gem, and CBCSports.ca. First down for the Huskies at their own 24. The handoff, Riker Frank. Frank right up the gut, and he is drilled backwards as he runs into Justin Pace, the very tough, physical middle linebacker who's been in some controversy this year. He was suspended for the last 3 games of the regular season after a targeting incident on Waterloo quarterback Nick Orr that left Orr with some brutal injuries, a dislocated vertebrae in his neck, a fractured vertebrae, and some broken ribs that required surgery. But Pace returned to this football team. He's the heart of their defense for the playoffs, and here they are in the national semifinal. 2nd and 6 after that 4-yard carry by Riker Frank. Farrell down the middle. Liam Peachinen makes the catch, and he'll have a first down. Check that, Thomas Jule on the catch. And at a first down for the Huskies. Jule, a second-year player out of Saskatoon, studying business at the University of Saskatchewan. That's a gain of 12.
Yeah, Jule just ran a simple hook route. Just wanted to settle there in this zone coverage, at least get the ball in his hands, move the ball forward a little bit. Great small pass to get him involved in the game and get him his first catch of the day.
Young Jake Farrell, a second-year player, but in his first season as a starter after the loss of Anton Ammonrud. 5-0 coming into this playoff game. They'll stay on the ground. Riker Frank cuts back up the middle. He'll have a short gain of maybe 3 on the play as he collides with big Eric Johnston out of Prescott, the 5th-year veteran at nose tackle.
I like to call Riker Frank the insurance policy. Last week in the Hardy Cup, he had 22 carries and 10 receptions. He touched the ball 30 times in that game. He's become a reliable player for this offense. They're going to need him to get through this game, and so they're going to put the ball in his hands to get him some momentum, and you can see him right there at the wideout position now.
He's really been Farrell's security blanket, hasn't he? 2nd and 7. Passing down for the Huskies. They send 6 receivers downfield. Farrell gets it away. It's complete to Liam, or check that, complete to Lenny, Dawson Lenny, and it'll be a gain of 5, and so it'll be a 3rd and 2 situation, maybe closer to 1. We'll have to see where they spot it.
It seemed like the receivers just ran a simple option route. If the DBs are on press, you run a fly. If they are giving you cushion, you run a hook. Dawson Lenny ran a hook, 5-yard hook, is able to come down with the catch. Keegan Bannock is able to make the tackle, key tackle to prevent the first down. Let's see if they take a gamble here on 3rd. It looks like they will.
The backup quarterback, Cohen Wright, is into the game. He's a rookie out of Calgary, and they're going to go for it here. It's about a yard after they measured. Wright will go to the left, crashing hard across the 50. This is going to be very close, but it does look like he has the first down by about the length of a football. So how about this? Cohen Wright is the 3rd-string quarterback, bumped up to number 2 because of the loss of Ammonrud.
And what if I told you that was his first snap of the season?
He hasn't got a passing stat this season.
But he's able to come in, make a big run. It seems like get the first down and keep this drive alive, keep his offense on the field.
So, the Huskies move the sticks. Farrell, play action, rolling from pressure. It's a screen to Riker Frank. Frank cuts back up across the midfield stripe, and he'll have a short gain. That's how quickly, a gain of 4, as how quickly the Queens defense rallies to the football.
Yeah, absolutely. They are ball hawks. You see the play action right there. The pressure comes off the edge, and Riker Frank is there at the insurance policy. Great blocking by Mason Grabowski off the edge. Forces Riker Frank to go in a little bit more inside and pick up some extra yards on that short pass.
Last week in the Hardy Cup, Frank led the Huskies in receiving and rushing. 2nd and 6, Saskatchewan. 3-man front. 5-man rush from Queens. Farrell across the middle, intended for Daniel Kabongo, with Miller Melanson in coverage for Queens. It's incomplete, and so the drive ends there, and the Huskies will have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, they had an empty receiver set to the boundary side. Play action pass to Recker Frank. Kabongo runs the post over the middle out of the slot, and he actually beats Miller Melanson, but Miller Melanson is able to get a hand in there and break up that pass to get this offense off the field and get the ball back to the Queens offense.
Ian St. Arnaud back to return. He has a 9-yard average this season. Lucas with a 42-yard punt average for Saskatchewan. It's a high spiraling punt deep inside the 5-yard line. St. Arnaud is wrapped up at the 5-yard line, nowhere to go. Boynton with a big tackle. One of the backup running backs who we're told will be a feature in the years to come.
Yeah, and one thing that's really great about this is they give St. Arnaud the space. They gave him the 5 yards, don't draw the no yards penalty, and then they attack, make that tackle. Boynton, Scott Flory talked about him so much, sees him as the future of the Huskies backfield, able to make a tackle on that play and give this defense good field position and have this offense have to work in order to put points on the board.
Yeah, bad field position for the Queens offense. They've got to dig themselves out from the shadows of their goalposts at the 5. First down, and the handoff is to Kasari, and Kasari has maybe 2 on the play as he is stacked up, and there's some hostilities beginning to percolate here, some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Yeah, these are 2 strong-minded programs, 2 prideful programs, great offense, great defense, 2 a lot of smash-mouth players. But of course, on that play, give it to your running back, allow him to create some cushion. Kasari picks up 3 and gives this offense a little bit more space to work with coming out of their end zone.
Kasari spent 2 years at Boydwain College in Division III before 2 years at UMass, where he saw some limited time, and now he's in his 3rd season as the lead rusher for the Gaels, talking about perhaps studying medicine at Queens. Came to Canada looking for a good education, he said, and he landed in one of the top universities.
Yeah, the Jared Kasari story is very funny because I think when he came to Canada and when he arrived at Queens, not many people knew how much time he had left in terms of eligibility. But here's a young man who goes on to play 3 seasons with Queens, becomes one of the most consistent ball carriers in the country, and the heart and soul of this offense.
Let's figure out what happened here in that
Please reset the game clock to 13 seconds. 13 seconds.
All right, so it's a timing issue. After that 3-yard gain on first down by Kasari, the American running back whose mother is Canadian and has come here and in the past 2 years was an all-Canadian and has just torn up U Sports football. 2nd and 7. This is a big down for Queens on offense. They'll pass. Falcone down the middle. He makes the catch, and it looks like it'll be a first down. Nathan Falcone out of St. Andrews College, veteran receiver who leads Queens in receiving this year with 720 yards. So they'll mark that as the last play, or are they going to run one more? Nope, one more play here at the end of the first quarter. Queens looking into the bright sunshine here in the western sky. A gorgeous day for football, 2 degrees, hardly any wind, and a little breeze out of the south. Doesn't get any better this time of year on the prairies. First down. Cedric Smith on the jet sweep, cuts upfield, and John Stoll lowers the boom.
What a hit by John Stoll. He saw that coming over the edge. He came over, saw Cedric Smith, met him at the edge, and was able to bring him down and prevent no gain on that play.
Another veteran from that Vanier Cup team in 2022 drops Smith on the final play of the first quarter.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel. the fuel behind every victory.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Back at Griffiths Stadium in Saskatoon in a football game featuring two of the best running backs in U Sports football, Jared Kasari of Queens and Riker Frank of the Huskies, both all-stars again this season.
Yeah, you know, I think the big thing that a lot of people talked about entering this game is how these teams compare so much, and it's through the run game. Jared Chazari, one of the most consistent running backs in U Sports football over the last 2 years. As you can see, almost 1,200 rushing yards for the Gaels and 16 touchdowns, or 11 touchdowns and 16 receptions. And Riker Frank, he's the program's all-time leader in rushing touchdowns. He's been around since 2021. He's been one of the people that took over from Adam Mackar out of that backfield, and he's helped this offense just have one of the more consistent run games in U Sports football over the last 4 years.
And Riker Frank is also on the precipice of becoming the program's all-time leading rusher, breaking the record set by Doug Rozone in the early 2000s. Right now, it's the Queens offense on 2nd and 7. Freakin with time, throwing to Logan Walton. He's all alone across the 40. He'll make the catch, and a big first down for Queens as they dig themselves out of difficult field position. A 24-yard pass to Walton.
When you're playing cover zone, when you're playing cover 3 defense in a zone coverage, essentially there's always going to be a sweet spot in between the half and the corner. And Logan Walton was able to find that sweet spot, settle in. Alex Brecken found him before he got to the sidelines, keep both feet in bounds, and get the first down.
Walton had only 5 catches during the regular season. He's become a feature receiver during the playoffs. Here's Brecken looking for Camillo. He was open, but overthrown by Brecken. And there is a flag on the play.
Camillo found that sweet spot in the zone coverage, above the half, below the corner, below the safety, but it was just overthrown.
It's a holding call against the Gaels. And I was just going to say they're giving Brecken time right now, but on this one, guilty of a hold. So it's 1st and 20 as they move the ball back to the 32.
Holding, 86 Queens, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So James Preston, one of their 3 H-backs, brought in to act as a tight end or a second tackle, gets called for the hold. 1st and 20, Gales. Brecken, play action, look out, he's got pressure from behind, now he gets the ball away, and Walton makes the catch. He'll be well shy of the first down, but they'll get about 15 yards on the play. I mentioned Walton with just 5 catches during the regular season. He's had 8 during the playoffs and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and you know what? Alex Brecken had time in the pocket. Obviously, Charlie Parks came around. He was able to eye down Walton. Walton was able to come back towards the sideline, get on his knees, and make that catch before getting out of bounds.
And Walton didn't play weeks 6 through 9. 15 yards the gain. 2nd and 5, Queens. More play action. Brecken rolling right. Fires it back for Camillo at center field. It's incomplete. Carter Stadnick helping to break it up. The 4th-year man out of Saskatoon.
Carter Stadnick broke up that pass, but it was Lucas Scheck that came in and brought the pressure to Alex Brecken, forcing him to leave the pocket and get the ball out of his hands. Great play by this defense that was kind of giving up a little bit of passes early on in this drive, but were able to get together at the right time and take this offense off the field. As you can see, John Stahl with the pressure right there. Got a hit in on Brecken at the end too.
Well, Brecken's getting time. Here's Driver. Kabongo, that one nearly blocked. There's a late flag as the ball bounces at the 5 and goes into the end zone. And Kabongo will take a knee, and there's a no yards flag in the end zone. We'll sort this out. But a near block as they got very close to Matt Driver.
Seemed like Driver may have bobbled the ball a little bit on that punt. Let's see.
And it looks like it might be roughing the kicker.
Yep.
Oh, it's a late flag and a little bit of an acting job, I think, back there by Driver. And Kabongo takes a knee. Let's get a good look at this. What? I didn't see anybody hit the kicker. A very late flag from referee Alan Baird. So a no yards and a contacting the kicker as they conference here at Griffiths Stadium. The call is no yards against Queens. Alan Baird yet to verbally assess this. They're going to move the ball up 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage. As Baird continues to sort things out with his staff. So it's a Queens first down. They'll stay on the field on offense. And there's still some confusion.
This is a long pause in the game.
Officials still figuring this all out. All right, here's the call.
There are 2 infractions on the play. Contacting the kicker, Saskatchewan. No yards, 26 Queens. There'll be a 5-yard net gain for Queens. 3rd down repeated.
Oh my goodness. So it's a 3rd down repeated. It'll be short too. Here's another look at the contact in the kicker. Really hard to see.
Very hard.
Any contact there. And then the no yards downfield as Wilson Heslip got downfield too close as Kabongo finally made contact with the ball. So Anthony Leo, the backup quarterback, comes into the game for Queens. It's 3rd and inches. And they're going to go for it. This is a team that was worst in the OUA this year, converting on only 4 of 10 3rd down gambles. Queens offense going for it here at their own 51. Anthony Leo, the backup quarterback, behind center. He'll crash forward and have the first down. Queens does not gamble. In fact, last week in the Yates Cup, they didn't gamble until the dying minute when they were in Laurier territory and needed 3 yards to seal the victory.
Yeah, they didn't gamble until they had to. And you know what? You talk about penalties. Penalties make a big difference in the game, and this is a class example right here. You go from punting the ball to now being in position to go for it on 3rd down. You haven't done that all season. And at least extend this drive and give your offense life, continued life on this drive, and an opportunity to put some points on the board, which is what Queens needs desperately right now at this point in the game.
So Vraken back on the field at quarterback, and a new set of downs. Play action, Vraken looking deep, throwing deep downfield, looking for Logan Walton. He was open, but he's overthrown and incomplete. So Walton has become a key target for Vraken in the playoffs and here in this semifinal. Just overthrown.
Vraken had Cedric Smith wide open to the flats, but seemed like he wanted more against his Saskatchewan defense. Of course, up front, headlined by Charlie Parks, the defensive lineman of the year, and of course, Seth Hundaby, number 4, the defensive player of the year in the Canada West.
Saskatchewan drops off after showing pressure. Vraken across the middle. Falcone gets a hand on it, but it falls incomplete. So that second chance after the contacting the kicker call goes to no avail as Matt Driver comes back onto the football field to punt for Queens.
Yeah, and shout outs to the front 7 for the Huskies. They were able to send the pressure, and shout outs to Lucas Scheck because he was able to stay on Falcone all the way through, eventually get a hand in there and break up that pass. Falcone had it in his hands, but there was a disruption to break up that pass and take this offense off the field. I guess we're back to stage 1 with the punt.
Driver had his first punt blocked last week in the first half against Laurier. This time the 6'8" punter gets it away. Kabongo at his own 17. is tripped up quickly and brought to the turf after a return of only 3 yards on the play. So the Huskies back on offense when we return to the 2025 Mitchell Bowl in Saskatoon.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Chase something.
Let's go.
More than just a flag. Chase a goal.
Push, she said, chase it, let's go.
Chase something. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Chase me. Nah, chase me.
Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL flag. Chase something.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Steve Snyder's Queens Gales won just one home game this year. They've been unbeaten on the road.
Yeah, it's safe to say the Gales are comfortable on the road. They were actually 4-0 in the regular season on the road, and most importantly, 2-0 on the road in the playoffs. That quarterfinal or semifinal win against Windsor, 2 interceptions to really seal that deal. And then last week, stunning the Laurier Golden Hawks, the then undefeated Laurier Golden Hawks, behind a 5-interception performance. But this is their biggest road trip of the season. This is a 3,000-kilometer trip from Kingston to Saskatchewan or Saskatoon, and so they're looking to pull off one more road win today to try and break through to the Vanier.
First down, Huskies with Daniel Weeb back on the field, and a wobbly pass outside. It's complete for a short gain on the play. It's Weeb making the catch for only a gain of 1, so he's been in and out of the lineup, mysteriously absent from the warm-ups, retreated to the dressing room. There's something going on with the Canada West Player of the Year.
Yeah, and they're trying to make use of him while he's in the game, getting the screen pass to him there, but that secondary, Keegan Vanier and Justin Pace just get in there and break up that pass and stop any potential gain.
2nd and 9 for this young first-year starting quarterback under pressure from the Gales. Stands in, throws, incomplete. So Liam Peachin was the intended receiver, but that's an example of the ferocity of that front seven and the pressure that quarterbacks face against Queens, and then throwing against very veteran, experienced secondary.
Yeah, and Jake Farrell stared down Peachin in the entire time. It seems like he stumbled a little bit with Jared Seavey right there on the coverage. Eventually fell
flag
down.
on the play too.
Yeah, you see some contact right there.
Offside, Queens 52, 5-yard penalty, still touchdown.
So it's an offside call.
Offside against Queens on the defense. So 5-yard penalty, make it 2nd and 4. As Peachin now getting some attention. This young rookie receiver out of Edmonton with his first career touchdown catch last week in that comeback in the 4th quarter. Scott Flory's team down 15 points to Regina. Came back to win 25-24. He just graduated from high school 4 months ago. He's just a rank rookie. Let's have a look at that big play he made last week.
Yeah, he's coming out the slot, and he actually did not know his route. Daniel Weeb actually, well, this is the touchdown play earlier, actually. This is Daniel Weeb across the middle. You can see right there, Jewel again made great blocking to kind of bring that touchdown home. But last week in the Hardy Cup, Peachin had a play, a post over the middle. He did not know his route, and Daniel Weeb told him the route in the huddle, and he ran it to perfection, and Jake Farrell found him in the end zone for a touchdown.
They got to hope that's not serious to Peachin, because Weeb has played on only 2 of the first 4 offensive series for Saskatchewan. He's out there now in motion to the short side of the field. on 2nd and 4. Play action, the ball is away. It's complete to Lenny, and he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Big tackle by Oliver Jackson and Grable. These two rush ends who have wreaked havoc this year in the OUA.
They look like Stephen Kaifon there a little bit too, but stare down Dawson Letty in the flats, and he was right there to make that tackle. That's a defensive end getting out into the flats and taking down the receiver for the tackle. Extreme athleticism.
Jalen Grable from Ballantree, 4th-year veteran. Scott takes the high snap, gets the punt away. There's a flag on the play. Looks like they made contact with the punter. Looks like Queens made contact with Lucas Scott as his punt bounces out of bounds at the 51-yard line. Sam Linebacker may be the culprit here. Braden Spence, right here.
That's a little bit more obvious than
Brandon Spence.
Yeah. A lot of flags early in this game, Mark. A lot of flags early in this game on both teams.
So contacting the kicker, a first down for Saskatchewan as Brandon Spence makes contact with Lucas Scott.
And now the Huskies are going to get second life on this drive, a fresh set of downs. Let's see if they can find some momentum on this drive, because they really struggled to move the ball over those 3 previous plays.
All kinds of motion to the wide side of the field. The handoff is to Riker Frank. Frank up the gut, big straight arm, and he'll have 7 yards as he collides through the interior of that Queens defense. Melanson coming up to help make a tackle from his halfback position.
Not surprised to see them go to Riker Frank. Like I said, he is this insurance policy. Hands it off to Frank, opens a hole up the middle by Beaubien. He's able to break a tackle, break 2 tackles, and eventually get taken down. But a great run to kind of set up this drive for some potential success.
2nd and 3 for young Jake Farrell and the Huskies. At their own 45. The handoff is to Riker Frank once again. Frank is taken down in the backfield. Tristan Burrell with a big hit and a loss of 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4, and that will end this offensive series for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Tristan Burrell shed off the block from 5th year Derek Beaubien and was right there waiting for Riker Frank to take him down and not allow any more yards to bring that Saskatchewan punting unit back on the field.
These are big-time collisions. I mean, this Saskatchewan offensive line is as big as the Saskatchewan Roughriders offensive line. Big Western Farm Boys, but no match for that rush. Here's Scott with a wobbly shank that bounces at about the 35. St. Arnaud picks it up at his own 28, and what a great tackle downfield by Lucas Shank to limit the return to maybe a yard on the play. It's 7-1, a 41-yard touchdown pass to Daniel Weeb, the big difference here early in this Mitchellville.
Elle revient toujours. Impossible de t'en débarrasser. Nicotine, si elle entre dans ta vie, elle ne te lâche plus. Même consommée occasionnellement, la nicotine peut provoquer une dépendance.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
U-Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future U-Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win U-Sports prizes. Join the U-Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca.
I might consider joining the panel. I might consider it.
First down, Queens. Breakin throwing downfield for Tuioti. There's a flag on the play as contact is made. John Stahl making contact with the big H-back, Mateo Tuioti, in his third year out of Chilliwack, BC.
And John Stahl's had a pretty good game today. He's been all over the field, in the backfield and deep into the secondary. But on that play, Freakin wanted more. He looked deep, and there you go. John Stahl put his hands on the back of Tuioti and took him down, and obviously that's going to be a flag 10 out of 10 times.
15-yard penalty and a first down for the Gaels. Tuioti, a big 6'4", 249-pound tight end or H-back. The handoff is Jared Kasari. Kasari with daylight, bouncing outside, and he'll be close to a first down before he is drilled at the sideline.
Evan Lang in there to make the tackle and clean it up on the Jared Kasari run. Jared Kasari hasn't taken a lot of handoffs today. It seems like Alex Freakin and that passing attack are trying to take some deep shots, but Jared Kasari is making use of every single carry, breaking off some big runs, and almost gets the first down.
It is a gain of 10 on the play. Kasari, that hard-nosed runner from the University of Massachusetts, a Maine native playing here in Canada. Play action to Kasari. Deep pass downfield from Vrekin, looking for Camillo, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, and Alex Freakin is taking these deep shots, and this secondary is responding well. You see Cameron Kahn, number 20, was all over Camillo on that play. It was a little bit overthrown, but what's most important is that Cameron Kahn was on the hip pocket and would have been there to break up the pass in case the ball was inbounds and catchable.
This defense in Saskatchewan gave up 291 yards a game on average through the air. That was the lowest of the 6 teams in the Canada West, so no wonder Vrekin thinks he can test their secondary. 2nd and 10. Gales, Vrekin under pressure, and down goes Vrekin. Sacked by a host of Huskies. Seth Hundeby was in there, Evan Barnesness. And a pack mentality on that one.
It's a party in the backfield. The Huskies send the pressure. Hundeby gets in there. Goldstone is on the spy. Parks is back there. McCormick is back there. Everyone gets in to take down Alex Freakin, and he feels the pressure. The pocket broke down immediately. Wasn't able to even go through any of his reads. Amazing job by that front 7 to really shut down Freakin.
Yeah, Charlie Parks got his meat hooks in there as well. So 3rd and 17 and a punt situation for Matt Driver.
He's tall.
Very tall at 6'8". Low snap. Driver picks it up off his shoe tops. Shanks an end-over-end punt that bounces at the 30. Kabongo on the bounce, and he'll draw a flag for no yards. So this will add 5 yards to the return. And there's some animosity at the end of that play. DJ Ryan looked like he was in on it. And it is no yards and a 5-yard penalty.
And Mark, we'll look at the replay right here of that catch. But aside from the Weeb touchdown, we're a little bit of a stalemate here offensively. Both offenses have had a decent amount of opportunities and drives throughout the first quarter and a half of this game. Both offenses have struggled to run the ball.
27 Queens, 5 yards from the end of the play. First down, Saskatchewan. Timeout.
So the Huskies with a first down as they move the sticks when we come back.
Delaney, Northwest Territories. the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Hey, you sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Where does bravery live? In Marie-Philippe Poulin, who went from playing in a boys' league to trailblazing a pro women's league. And in Cynthia Appia, who refuses to let the high cost of sports slow her down. It lives inside Piper and Paul, who use every fall as a chance to bounce back even higher. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
The top two teams in Canadian football descend on Mosaic Stadium in Regina for the 60th Vanier Cup next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Get your tickets for the Party on the Prairies by visiting usportstickets.ca. The 2025 Vanier Cup on November 22nd in Regina. Chase the glory.
Get your willies ready. It's going to be cold. I heard it's going to be real cold, Mark.
Okay, well, it's beautiful right now. The handoff on first down to Riker Frank, and Frank is wrapped up after a gain of 5 by Justin Pace, their gnarly middle linebacker.
And if you're the Queens Gales right now, or if you're the Saskatchewan Huskies right now, you just want to find some rhythm. Hand it off to your insurance policy. Hand it off to Riker Frank. You know he's going to give you at least 5 to 6 yards, especially even with Justin Pace in there to make the tackle. But right now, you just want to move the ball and find some momentum and consistency.
Gain of 5 for Farrell and the Huskies. 2nd and 5. Peachinen has not returned to the game at receiver. Pass is tipped at the line and incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. Well back in the Queens secondary is where that flag landed, as Keegan Vanek says it was a tip and therefore there should be no contact on a receiver call.
Yeah, we almost saw the tip drill right there. A number of those interceptions last week from the Queens Gales were through the tip drill.
So if that ball is tipped, then they can't call a contact on a receiver. And
there is no infraction on the play for defensive pass interference. The ball was tipped. 3rd down.
Mark, you called it.
So that'll make it 3rd down for Saskatchewan, 5 yards to go. As these offenses have really struggled against these very stout defenses.
It's been a stalemate. Both offenses have struggled to run the ball. Both offenses have struggled to pass the ball. And both these offenses are doing an amazing job, both shutting down the pass and the run.
Scott Flory has called Alan Barrett, over to the sidelines for a word, but the official's not changing his call. And so the Huskies will have to punt.
He's going to stand on it. He's going to stand on it.
Ian St. Arnaud, the rookie out of Vancouver, with a 9.2-yard punt return average this year, is the lone Gale back to return. Scott with a perfect snap, an end-over-end punt that drops short at the 39, across the 35, and St. Arnaud has nowhere to go as he's taken down just shy of the 35-yard line.
The Queens Gales went for the block on that punt and almost came home to Lucas Scott. Of course, there's no one back there to block for Arnaud, but it's decent field position for this Queens offense as they begin this drive.
Vraken has taken some shots. He's seen some things in that Huskies secondary, gone after their boundary corner, Cam Conn, who was also targeted last week by the Regina Rams. Play action. Pass down the middle, complete to Nathan Falcone, and he'll have a 1st down and a pickup of 13 yards on the play.
And it's going to be Falcone versus Sheck all day. Alex Vraken stared down Nathan Falcone on that hook route. Sheck was back in coverage, but able to read the quarterback, break on the ball, make that tackle, and stop him in his tracks. But unfortunately, it was a 1st down for Queens, and so it's going to be another set of fresh downs for this Gales offense.
They'll stay on the ground, handing off to Kasari. Kasari gets outside, past Henby, and he's finally dragged out of bounds across the 40-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. So Kasari's biggest run so far in this semifinal, but is it coming back?
We'll see what the call is, but there was a great block by Nicholas Henning off the edge. Number 71 was able to really create that hole for Kasari, and he's able to beat Hundaby downfield, and Ethan Lang, the safety, has to come in and make that tackle, and Kasari and Lang have been going back and forth all day.
It is holding, the call against Queens.
Holding, 74 Queens, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Jazz Kyra, their blindside tackle out of Brampton, the guilty offensive lineman, so they'll move the ball back 10 yards.
And you see the hold.
74,
yep,
right
you see
there.
it right there.
That's where he prevents Goldstone from getting free to make the tackle. 1st and 20, break and sack for the second time, and Hundaby is in there again. The brazen middle linebacker and the outstanding defensive player of the year in the Canada West, with some help from Charlie Parks.
And the pocket broke down quick. It's Parks versus Karia off the edge right there, and Hundaby takes that hold and gets straight to freaking just a linear line straight to the quarterback to bring him down in the backfield for the sack. But overall, a great job by that front seven.
It's a carnivorous front seven in Saskatchewan. These Huskies make it 2nd and 27 now for the Gaels. Going the wrong direction. Break it against a 4-man rush, throws a screen pass to Kasari. Kasari has some blocking, stumbles, and is taken down just shy of the 45-yard line, so that'll be a gain of 13, make it 3rd and 14, and Queens will have to punt.
Yeah, they just needed yardage. Go for the screen, get it to Kasari in open field with some offensive linemen to block for him, and see what he can do. He's able to pick up 13 yards, not enough for the first down, of course, very far from the first down, but try it on 2nd down, see what happens. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, not a lot of plays in your ready list for 2nd and 27.
Yeah.
So driver to punt on 3rd and 14, and Daniel Kabongo, the former Western Mustang, is back to return. Huskies setting up the return. It's a high spiraling punt at the 25. Kabongo breaks through the first wave. He's on his horse now. There goes Daniel Kabongo down the sideline. Still going past driver. Kabongo now. End zone. Touchdown. No flags. What a return. The Mustang on his horse for the Huskies.
What a momentum shifting return from Daniel Kabongo. Catches that ball clean and just has a line of blockers to his left up the sideline. A lot of great blocking from Saskatchewan, and most importantly, clean blocking. No flags on the play. Has one man to beat, and that's the 6'8" punter, and he ain't gonna catch him. Touchdown Huskies to put another 6 points on the board. Huge, huge momentum during a part of the game where these offenses are struggling. Special teams breaks through.
Daniel Kabongo with an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown in a blur. The point after from Scott is good, and the Huskies now take a 14-1 lead with 3:22 to go until halftime. Kabongo came here as a grad student. You know, Saskatchewan doesn't normally take transfers. They like to grow their team inside the program. Most of these players from the province. But Kabongo came across as a fine young man, Scott Flory was telling us, who wanted to further his education as a grad student, and what a great decision it was to bring him on board.
Yeah, they build from within, but Kabongo is an impact player who wanted to come to this program, contribute, have a different change of scenery, and follow some family. And it worked out well for him, and now he's making big plays in a big game in the national semifinal for this program. So the transfer risk that Scott Flory took in bringing Daniel Kabongo paid off.
Kabongo, the Canada West Special Teams All-Star, delivers here with an 85-yard strike and a 14-1 lead for the Huskies. This is a very difficult place to play. The Huskies unbeaten at home this year, but Queens, of course, unbeaten on the road, and something's got to give this afternoon. Cedric Smith from the 16-yard line. Third-year receiver, bracing for impact and is driven back. Yawan Boyton, that promising young running back, making the tackle on special teams for Saskatchewan.
And we've called his name a few times on special teams today. And listen, he's backing up Riker Frank and Caden Miller. And so he's making a big impact on special teams.
That's Yawan Boyton, number 21, who's a second-year backup running back. Scott Flory said he could start for any team in the country.
Absolutely, and he's waiting to start behind Riker Frank and Caden Miller. Once they graduate, Yawan Boyton is the future of the Saskatchewan Huskies backfield.
Big play by Boyton on special teams as he waits his turn behind Riker Frank. And Kasari is given the rock and then is thrown unceremoniously to the turf after a gain of 3. Goldstone and this tough front 7 for Saskatchewan is proving tough on one of the great running backs in Canadian University football, Jared Kasari. So we're at the 3-minute warning here in the opening half. The Huskies staking a 14-1 lead.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
2nd and 6 for Queens after that 4-yard carry. Bongo still savoring that 85-yard punt return touchdown for the Huskies.
And you know what, Mark? The irony in all this is this was one of the few penalty-free returns in this game. And you see John Stahl getting into an amazing blocking matchup on the edge right there to really create that hole for Daniel Kabongo. But it's great blocking down the side of the field to open the hole for this returner and put 6 on the board for the Huskies.
It's a big matchup for Stahl against the 6'6" Silverson.
Here comes the blitz.
2nd and 6. Pressure shown by Saskatchewan. 5-man rush. Here they come. Reichen down. Ball's free. Saskatchewan's on the football. Fumble at Hundeby with another big play to force that fumble.
The blitz wasn't even disguised. It wasn't even disguised. Seth Hundeby lined up on the line. And remember, he's 6'3", 235 pounds, so he could be a defensive lineman. Gets in there, breaks off the block, and gets straight to Vreeken. Ball gets loose, and it looks like Goldstone landed on the ball.
Goldstone recovers the football at the Queens 24-yard line. Look at Hundeby come through with a flourish and punch that ball free from Vreeken.
Canada West Defensive Player of the Year for a reason, was at the Saskatchewan Roughriders training camp. He's going to have a future in the CFL.
First down, Huskies at the Queens 24-yard line. Farrell handing off to Riker Frank, nowhere to go, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss on the play. It's Oliver Jackson who makes the big play on defense for Queens, the 3rd-year man out of Carleton Place, Ontario, a second-team OUA All-Star who led Queens with 5 sacks this year, and a big tackle for loss. 2nd and 13 for the Huskies. 4-man rush. Ball is downfield. It's intercepted. Keegan Vanek picks off Jake Farrell, and a huge play by the Queens defense to come to the aid of their offense.
What a play by the defense, much needed. We're gonna get a look at this play again, but Jake Farrell stared down his entire field side, went through his reads, 1, 2, 3, read Dawson Lenny over the middle, and Keegan Vanek sat there, saw the ball, jumped the route, and came up with that interception. Very, very reminiscent to his interception last week against Laurier in the second quarter.
Big play. Remember, 4 interceptions and a fumble, although some say it was really 5 interceptions by Queens last week in the Yates Cup, and a big one there to keep points off the board. Another big tackle, and Saskatchewan says they've got the football as Falcone made the catch and is slow to get up and was just taking a wicked hit.
And you can see the defenses are beginning to have a bigger and bigger impact on this game.
Are they ever? Officials will conference, and Saskatchewan says they got the ball back after dislodging it from Falcone.
Let's take a second look at this. Play action, reads the flats. What a lick.
Ball is loose. Was it a complete pass, or will they rule it incomplete?
That's the question. Did he have possession?
That's about as fast as the ball came out from Hughes last week.
Absolutely.
When they ruled it a fumble. But Falcone, the leading receiver for this Queens offense, is slow to get up. He's been rocked twice so far in this first half.
And the ball didn't touch the ground. So this could very well be an interception.
The officials continue to conference. Let's try to get another angle.
What a hit from Lucas Sheck. Off the leg of
Ball
Falcone.
hasn't hit the ground yet.
Still in the air.
That's an interception. That's not a fumble.
That would have to be an interception.
That's an interception. That ball did not contact the turf. So Scott Flory and the officials still conferring, making sure they get this right, but the video evidence suggests it was an interception. The ball did not contact the turf.
What a series of events, Mark. I think we all anticipated both of these secondaries and front sevens would have big impacts today, and there you go, back-to-back plays. Keegan Vanek with the interception, and now a potential turnover right here.
Is this a back-to-back-to-back turnover situation?
Yes.
And now Flory wants to have a word with the official, sensing that he might not get that call. It should be an interception, he says. Now they're explaining the call to Hundeby. And Steve Snyder, the Queens head coach, takes his headset off. And it looks like the call is going to go in Snyder's favor. And this would be a travesty of justice here in the first half. The ball did not hit the field. It should be an interception, and Scott Flory is making that point.
We had an inadvertent whistle while the ball was on the Queen's back prior to it hitting the ground. Before Saskatchewan recovered. By rule, we will go back to the original line of scrimmage, replay first down.
All right, so an inadvertent whistle. What a break for Queens. An inadvertent whistle on a bang-bang play.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
That's a first. That is a first.
Queens offense will stay on the field, and a huge break for them.
And you can see Scott Flory is just upset.
They'll replay the down. 1st and 10. Here's Vreeken to Cedric Smith. He's got a first down to the 50-yard line. It's a gain of 20 for Smith. And Flory is still beside himself on the Saskatchewan sideline.
And if you're Alex Vreeken at this point in the game, you know the pockets are breaking down quick. The front seven is getting to the ball. And of course, that secondary is keying on your receivers. Cedric Smith ran a quick hook, got it to Smith, and he was able to pick up some yards for the first down and keep this offense rolling.
So it's officially a gain of 21 to the 51 of Queens. Kasari takes the handoff, nearly missed it, and he hustles upfield. And he'll cross center field and have a gain of about 7 on the play. But nearly lost the handoff.
Looked like Alex Vreeken wanted to pull it. Looked like the ball got bobbled a little bit, so Jared Kasari just took it and said, I'll take this. I'll make this play. Picked up some yards. Look at that. Look at that. And he's able to pick up some yards and turn it into a positive. Veteran presence.
So 1:47 to play in the first half. The play clock down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and Breakin gets it off, hands off to Ethan Dahl, and he'll crash across the 50 and a first down on that 2nd and 3. A gain of 5 for Ethan Dahl, the backup running back, and another set of downs for Queens as the clock ticks.
Ethan Dahl comes in, gives Jared Kasari a breather, and the offensive line does a great job opening up some holes for him to get a small gain, move the chains. You saw Charlie Parks got in there. You see John Stahl is in there, but of course it's a first down.
Less than a minute and a half to play in the half. First down, break in time. He's going deep downfield for Russell Weir. It's incomplete. Weir in tough coverage there with Carter Stadnick, the field corner,
It looked
step
like,
for step.
Yeah, it looked like it was double coverage actually, and you know, Alex Breakin had Jared Kasari wide open in the flats, but he wanted more. They are testing this secondary today, and yeah, Carter Stadnick is right there, and Ethan Lang did a good job of coming over just in case to help his corner stop that play. But again, another overthrown deep pass by number 12.
We've seen at least 3 of those from Breakin here today. 1:19 on the clock. 2nd and 10 from the Saskatchewan 47.
Here comes the pressure.
Breakin changing the play at the line of scrimmage, seeing the pressure. He looks to the flat, throws it across the middle. Cedric Smith on a crosser makes the catch in coverage ahead of Lucas Scheck. And he'll be less than a yard from a first down as Queens catches fire after catching a break.
Yeah, that was a really, really good pass by Alex Breakin. The pressure was coming. You see Reese McCormick coming off the edge, and Charlie Parks is right in his face. He gives it through a tight window to Cedric Smith. John Stahl is all over him, makes the tackle, but of course still able to move the ball on this drive.
Cedric Smith, who was on the end of a receiving touchdown, the first of the game last week from Breakin. Short yardage by Anthony Leo, and he won't get it! A turnover on downs! Oh, a big miss for Queens, and a big stand by Saskatchewan.
What a stop by the Saskatchewan Huskies defense, and as you can see, we'll get the replay in a second, but it seemed like Anthony Leo never had a chance. Seth Hundaby gets in there, Charlie Parks gets in there, Jacob Goldstone makes first contact, and Lucas Scheck comes in for second contact as well to bring him down.
Anthony Leo never had a chance, as you say, Deshaun. The 5'9" diminutive quarterback is hit for a loss, and it stops what looked like a potential scoring drive for Queens.
Queens went for it on 3rd down 10 times this year. We've already seen them go for it twice in this football game.
Farrell on first down. Play action, throwing it to Peachnet. He's back in the game after being shaken up. And Ashton Miller-Melanson makes the tackle for Queens. It's a gain of 4, 2nd and 6 for the Huskies. Peachnet is a valuable part of this offense with so many question marks around Daniel Weeb, the player of the year in Canada West.
Yeah, Liam Peachinen is a huge receiver on this receiving corps. Obviously, he's only in his first year on that play. He ran a little hook route to the sideline, was able to bring it in, but they just want to get the ball in his hands and get him comfortable.
Clock is running, less than 50 seconds to go until the half. Big play, can they hold on to possession? Farrell has the pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Oliver Jackson, and so the Huskies will have to punt with 36 seconds left in the first half. All of this 3rd and 6 situation.
Oliver Jackson did an amazing job basically pushing back Braden DeGroot and getting to the ball, putting his hands up, batting down the pass. That's why he is an OUA All-Star. He's disruptive. Doesn't have to get to the quarterback. His hands are enough to bat down those passes.
What a force he has been this season with 6 tackles for losses, 5 sacks to lead Queens, and a big pass knocked down there to give Queens the ball back with decent field position if Ian St. Arnaud can bring it back. Scott to punt. It's a high spiraling punt, and St. Arnaud will take it at his own 27. And again, special team coverage has been awesome for the Huskies. That's Porter Hansen in to make the tackle for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and I think right here at this point in the game, you're less than a minute away from halftime. It's about being able to cover on this punt without any penalties. Don't take any penalties. Don't give Queens a chance to advance down the field through flags. Give yourself a chance to really stop them on this possession and not allow them to get any points on the board. That's what you want for Saskatchewan, and that's what that unit was able to do.
Break in, under pressure, he steps up, fires it underneath the coverage. Cedric Smith makes the tackle, and then Seth Hundeby makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 15 and a sense of urgency for the Gaels with 18.9 seconds to go.
Alex Braken able to keep the play alive with his feet, scramble out of bounds and find Cedric Smith for that first down.
Clock running, Breken, four-man rush. Again, he steps up, gets the ball away, and it's dropped. Oh my goodness, Cameron Kahn with a chance for an interception, can't hold on.
Had a free interception in the palm of his hands and he dropped it, but right there again, the rush from the front seven broke down the pocket and forced Alex Breeken to get uncomfortable and leave the pocket. Great job by that front seven, and also got a hit in on Breeken at the end as well.
So second down and 10 from the 45 of Queens. 10 seconds left until the half. Breakin, play action. Steps up into the pocket, fires it down the middle, and it's knocked down by Goldstone. Tuioti was the intended receiver, but once again, Jacob Goldstone with another big play defensively as Steve Snyder sends his punting unit onto the field.
Jacob Goldstone all over the field. Listen, this season he had 56 tackles. He had 2 interceptions. Scott Flory was surprised as to why Jacob Goldstone wasn't named the Canada West All-Star, but he says this young man is the future of our linebacking core and is going to take over for Seth Hundeby once he graduates. Jacob Goldstone will be the future linebacker for this defense.
He's the heir apparent, no question about that. Kabongo back to return after that 85-yard thrilling punt return touchdown earlier in this quarter. Driver with a bad drop, punts an end-over-end ball, taken from the 28 by Kabongo. There's a flag in behind the play, and Kabongo hits the turf as the flag, or rather as the clock ticks to 0, but there is a flag on the play.
If you're Queens, all you didn't want on that play, all you want to do is make sure you tackle Kabongo. You didn't want to allow him to get off any big runs, nothing like that. No more points on the board. Let's go into halftime down 13, keep it the way it is, as it is, and make some adjustments at halftime.
During the return, holding number 1 Saskatchewan. That penalty is declined. Halftime.
All right, the holding call against Caden Miller will be declined, and these teams will head to the locker rooms with the Huskies up 14-1 at home in the 2025 Mitchell Bowl from Griffiths Stadium in Saskatoon.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
Chase something. More than just a flag. Chase a goal. Chase something. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Chase me. Nah, chase me.
Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL flag. Chase something.
Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Where does bravery live? In William Danjanu, who's breaking the mold of a short track speed skater with every stride. And in Sonia Schmidt, who spends her off-season planting trees to afford her Olympic dream. It lives inside Mikkel Kingsbury, who dared to speak his dream out loud and then dared to make it come true. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
Welcome back to the Mitchell Bowl on CBC. Doug Mitchell was a champion in Canadian sport, a supporter of university football, and is the namesake of this national semifinal. I had the pleasure of speaking to the Honorable Lois Mitchell about the lasting impact of her late husband.
It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you people. I am the 18th Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, past now. But the wonderful thing is, having a husband like I had, you never stop. So I've gone on to be the president or chair of the board of the Royal Canadian Geographic Society. And I'm actually on 6 boards now, and enjoying every one of them. And it's a lot to do with what Doug taught me, keep giving back. That's what it's all about. Football was truly, truly a constant thread throughout Doug's life. I mean, from his days playing at UBC, where we met, to becoming the CFL commissioner. And it was never just about the sport. It was about the people, the teamwork, and the lessons that it taught. Doug always said that football mirrored life. Like, you get knocked down, you get back up, you rely on the people around you. And I think that that's a wonderful lesson that he taught me, and a lot of other people, about teamwork. It's really how he shaped everything that he led and how he built community. And I think that's the important thing, is about thinking always about the other people that are doing things with you. Well, I can tell you something. I mean, looking at Saskatchewan as an example of becoming a powerhouse this year, you got 2 of the best teams in the West, being Regina and Saskatchewan. That's pretty amazing, I have to say that. But I know that I felt the university game is such an important part of Canada's football culture, because it does connect education, it connects and sport in the community. It's where student athletes learn to balance ambition with responsibilities. I mean, they can grow both as players and as people. It was Doug's idea to establish the Alumni of the Year Awards, which we started in 2020. I think he would be incredibly proud for this long-lasting legacy and the impact sports have had on student athletes as they develop in their careers later in life. For example, our inaugural winner, George Linvera, was inspired by that award to give $1 million to both his alma maters, McGill and Concordia. And I actually continue on every Friday. George and I have become really good friends, and we talk about sport, and we talk about the impact that he has in being able to give back. That he learned that from that being the first male alumni of the year. Having our family name attached to the Mitchell Bowl is deeply meaningful, and it's a wonderful way to honor Doug's legacy and his belief in the power of university sport. It means a great deal to our whole family. I just want to say that and thank you for, I have to say, the leadership that you people are giving in this way.
You're watching the Mitchell Bowl on CBC. We'll return after the break.
exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
Elle revient toujours. Impossible de t'en débarrasser. Nicotine, si elle entre dans ta vie, elle ne te lâche plus. Même consommée occasionnellement, la nicotine peut provoquer une dépendance.
Where does bravery live? In Marie-Philippe Poulin, who went from playing in a boys' league to trailblazing a pro women's league. And in Cynthia Appia, who refuses to let the high cost of sports slow her down. It lives inside Piper and Paul, who use every fall as a chance to bounce back even higher. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
Welcome back to the Mitchell Bowl on CBC. Up next, Arash Madani and Andrew Beckler share some highlights from the UTech Bowl from earlier today in Halifax.
Well, in the end, it was a runaway. Montreal knocking off St. Mary's 49-19. They've punched their ticket to their second Vanier Cup in 3 years. But Andy Beckler, late in the third quarter, this was a football game. St. Mary's had cut it within 10. They'd gotten into the end zone for the first time. And that's when the Carabin reminded you of what they're capable of on offense.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge day offensively for the Montreal Carabin like we know they are capable of. Henri James Leclerc, their number one on Montreal, their go-to guy, 6 for 68 today, a touchdown. Came up with the plays when he needed to, but that SMU defense, who we heard a lot about today, they kind of lived up to the hype and really kind of kept this Montreal offense in check for most of the day.
And when Montreal got into score zone situations and short yardage situations, they didn't go to their backup quarterback. They went to their fullback under center, and he was able to punch in not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 touchdowns for Mathieu Barcelona.
Yeah, if you don't like that, you don't like short yardage packages, do you?
No.
It's not every day that you have a player of the game in a national semifinal being a fullback who's coming in under center in a goal line package. But yeah, converting when you're that close to the goal line, that was also the difference in today's ball game, because SMU got in the red zone, had a lot of really good chances close to, and weren't able to convert. And when Montreal got there, it felt automatic.
Yeah, 3 times inside the 10 to open the ball game. It went interception, turnover on downs, and interception in the end zone. It wasn't just a ball-hawking Montreal defense. The Carabin talk about, we take a lot of pride on the defensive side of the ball. We saw that today.
Yeah, lots of big plays on the back end. What jumps out to me, Arash, from today's UTech Bowl is just the physicality of this Montreal team on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive line. When you add on top of that an opportunistic secondary like the Carabin had and showcased, that's ball game. That one was a bit of a gift, of course, from St. Mary's, but overall, Montreal did what they had to do on the defensive side of the ball. Didn't have to go crazy offensively like we've seen them do. So a comfortable in the win in the end after what was a tight game there midway through the second half or so. Then they were able to pull away.
A 6-2 regular season. They upset Laval in Quebec City last weekend. And now the Carabin are headed back to the Vanier Cup. Marco Ideluca talked about this being a 4-step process in the playoffs. 3 down, 1 to go.
You're watching the Mitchell Bowl on CBC. More coverage after the break.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
U Sports on CBC and the road to the Vanier Cup, brought to you by the Government of Canada, Nike, Baron Rings, Veriburn Medical Supply, Fox 40, BioSteel, and by Wilson, makers of the official U Sports football.
Back at Griffiths Stadium in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and the home team up 14-1 over Queens at the half. The Gaels with but a kickoff rouge to show for their scoring in that opening 30 minutes of football. Contrast that with 5 turnovers and 27 points 1 week ago in the H Cup.
Yeah, and you know what, for Saskatchewan today, it's been big plays. They haven't been consistent offensively throughout the game, but having a big play from Daniel Weeb in the first quarter to get on the board really helped build some cushion for this offense. A 41-yard touchdown from the Canada West MVP, who hasn't played a lot today, who's been questionable at certain moments of the game, didn't warm up, has been in for a handful of plays, but has made the most of his impact so far.
And then special teams became a huge force for the Huskies in the second quarter when Daniel Kabongo returned a driver punt 85 yards with some spectacular blocks along the sideline for the touchdown.
Yeah, the offense has been struggling. The defense has been playing well. And so if you want to put some points on the board, let's switch to special teams. Daniel Kabongo, an 85-yard return on a play that was one of the few penalty-free returns of the first half, ends up being a touchdown for these Saskatchewan Huskies.
These Queens fans really seeing that defense has been the strong suit of this football game, especially on the Saskatchewan side, with 3 quarterback sacks, a forced fumble, and really shutting down one of the top running backs in the country.
This defense has been stern and has been stubborn the entire first half. Seth Hundaby is getting to the quarterback. Charlie Parks is sending pressure. Jacob Goldstone is dropping back into coverage. They are getting their job done. They are shutting down Jerry Kisari. They are shutting down this receiving corps, taking away all these potential big plays down the field. And so far, through 2 quarters, only 1 point on the board for the Queens.
So here are the halftime stats, and the penalty yards rear their ugly head here in the first half. 8 penalties for 133 yards by the Gaels to 3 for 25 by Saskatchewan. That's just not going to get it done in championship football. And again, look at the contrast here. 13 first downs to 5. You've got to give the Queens defense credit as well, because Scott Flory's offense, but for that 41-yard pass to Daniel Weeb for the touchdown, have really been held in check.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an offense that has, again, the Canada West MVP and has an all-star running back, and they're shutting that down today. But also, this Queens offense, they have 13 first downs. They have almost 200 yards of offense. They're moving the ball, but it seems to be that they can't finish drives, and they also can't find themselves in the red zone. So there's some type of consistency on offense, but they're going to need a little more if they want to have a chance at winning this football game.
This man knows offense. Steve Snyder, of course, he was the offensive coordinator for 2 years with the Western Mustangs, winning a Vanier Cup over Laval in 2017 and then losing to Laval in 2018. And Queens is going to return this opening kickoff, but getting back to Snyder, he has put together a potent football team, both offensively and defensively. He has put together a team that has very few flaws, and so we'll see how they weather this deficit, 14-1, to start the second half.
You know, Steve Snyder, one of the things he said to us this week is he said this group of the 5 groups that he's had over the last 5 years, 3 of them going to the Yates Cup, he said this group has the most chemistry, the most grit, and they are the most battle-tested, which is a signifier, again, of their 6-0 record on the road. This group knows how to come back from resiliency, play in big moments, and fight back when their back is against the ball.
Cedric Smith and Ethan Dolby are back to return this kickoff for Queens. Lucas Scott teeing the ball up at his 45-yard line with a 14-1 lead, but only 5 first downs for Saskatchewan in that first half. Scott puts the ball aloft, and Cedric Smith will make the catch at his own 3-yard line. Smith, the slot back, has a lane, but then is taken down at the 23-yard line for a return of 20 yards on the play. We'll see how the veteran receiver Nathan Falcone is in the second half. Remember, he took a big shot and didn't look like he knew where he was when he dropped that football. What looked like an interception, then overturned for an inadvertent whistle late in that second quarter.
Yeah, check Falcone in the slot right there on the field. He is currently in the game.
Alex Vraken facing pressure. Gets the ball away quickly to Walton. Walton spun around, and he'll get very close to that first down marker. Maybe just shy of that first down.
They know the blitz is coming. They know the pressure is coming. They know the pocket's going to break down fast. Alex Vreeken takes that snap, looks to his boundary side, and passes over to Walton. Cameron Kahn, the corner, number 20, is able to make that tackle.
It's a first down on the catch by Logan Walton from Alex Vreeken, who grew up in Kingston. Kingston boy, who was a ball boy for the Gaels. Got to know the 2009 Vanier Cup champions and began to idolize them and said, I want to be one of those guys one day, and he has his chance here in his 5th and final season as a Gale. Trailing 14-1, here comes pressure. Play action, Vreeken rolls away from it. He's got time, fires upfield. It's caught by Matt Camillo for another first down. The gain is 15 yards on the play. So Vreeken comes out throwing here in the second half with authority.
Vreeken making use of the play action. You see the fake handoff right there to Kasari. He rolls out and is in line with Camillo and passes the ball to Camillo for the first down to move the chains. Clean catch, clean pass, first down.
Vreeken now, pressured, throws the ball up, downfield, and Falcone makes the catch. Down to the 29-yard line. Vreeken throwing the ball with hands in his face. And Falcone, who looked shaken up in the late going of that first half, makes a big catch.
Alex Vreeken goes through his reads. The pressure is in his face, and you see Falcone running the corner. And it looks like Lucas Sheck is all over him, never looks back, never sees the ball, and Falcone is able to give him a little stiff arm, hauled in for the first down. That is the biggest play of the game for this offense.
First down, Queens, at the 29-yard line of the Huskies. Vraken fires again to the wide side. Camelo makes the catch, and he's caught very close to the first down as Carter Stadnik makes the reception. So Vraken, 2nd and inches now, coming out, throwing and moving the ball. This has been the best offensive series of the football game for the Gaels.
Yeah, the best offensive series. And you see right there, the pass to Camilo coming out at the end right there. And now Queens is inside the red zone.
Look how far off Stadnik was playing. 2nd and inches. This opening second half drive for the Gaels. Kasari takes the handoff up the gut. He'll break a tackle and fall forward. Reese Kack making the tackle, but it's a first down for Kasari and Vraken and the Gaels. It's a gain of 3 on the play.
Reese Kack made the tackle. Cameron Kahn, the corner, came in there and finished it to take down Dahl and prevent that from being a big gain.
So the Gaels now in the Huskies red zone. First down at the 17 of Saskatchewan. Smith motioning to the short side. That's where Vraken's looking, throwing deep into the end zone and incomplete. Pass intended for Logan Walton. 2nd and 10 from the 17.
Vraken had Walton on the post over the middle behind the safety. It looks like he just overthrew it a little bit. But Mark, you're right. They're in the red zone. And listen, Queens scores on 96% of their red zone drives.
Vraken is getting the ball away just in the nick of time on this drive. That time, Charlie Parks was right there.
Right in his face.
2nd and 10 from the 17 of the Huskies. Queens threatening with 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Vraken looking that way, throwing into the end zone. Touchdown, Cedric Smith. The Gaels open the second half, driving the field and hitting the end zone. Vraken to Smith.
Smith caught the touchdown, but that was a courageous play by Alex Vraken. The Huskies rushed 5. You could see number 4, Seth Hundaby, coming down the middle. Vraken took a hit, saw Smith coming over the middle, stayed there until Smith got open and was able to fit that ball into a tight hole to put their first touchdown on the board. What a great play by the veteran quarterback.
Vraken standing in, taking the hit as he released the pass. Point after is good from Tyler Mullen. And so just like that, the Gaels are back in this football game, trailing 14-8. Cedric Smith with a 17-yard touchdown reception from Alex Vraken to open the second half.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Chase something. More than just a flag. Chase a goal. Chase something. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Chase me. Nah, chase me.
Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL flag. Chase something.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Cedric Smith on the end of a 17-yard touchdown pass from Alex Vraken on a 7-play, 87-yard drive that took 4 minutes off the clock to start the second half.
Yeah, Cedric Smith ran the post over the middle, but again, Alex Vraken took on the pressure from the defensive line. Charlie Parks is in there, Reese McCormick is in there, but you have to be brave. You have to let the play develop, and Alex Braken did that, let the ball go at the last second, and found one of his leading receivers in the end zone for the first touchdown of the game for the Gaels.
So the Gaels with their first offensive points of this football game after that opening kickoff rouge. And what a start in this second half. Tyler Mullen to kick off. And there's a more bounce in the Gales' step here after that big touchdown drive. Riker Frank bobbles the ball, picks it up at his own 8-yard line. Frank getting outside, and DJ Ryan will ride him to the turf at the 28-yard line. That's where this drive will start as they bump after the play. Riker Frank, another tremendous football season for him. DJ Ryan, the backup middle linebacker, has been a factor on special teams here this afternoon. First down for young Jake Farrell and the Huskies. Their own 27-yard line, they'll hand off to Frank, driving right up the gut. Riker Frank breaks free into the secondary now, and Jared Seaway finally takes him down at the knees. And that's the first big open field gallop for Riker Frank and the Huskies.
If you're the Saskatchewan offense, that's what you want. You see Zach LePage and Lucas Seffrin are making a big hole up the middle for Frank. He takes advantage of that, and there's nothing but daylight for around 20 yards. He's able to take advantage of that. Huge run for this Huskies running back, and huge moment for this offense in a game where they've been struggling to establish the run.
That's a 29-yard gain for Riker Frank, and Brandon Spence, the Will linebacker for Queens, is down on the field. He came into this game to start in place of Jacob Baldwin, who is the starter but injured his hamstring in the opening half last week of the Yates Cup after making 2 interceptions and returning them to the red zone. So Spence looks like he's going to be okay to get up under his own steam.
You see,
injured
he missed
here.
the tackle. Yep, he was one of the first missed tackles. Went down pretty hard.
So Spence walks it off. Looks like he's no worse for wear. And the Huskies now across midfield will have first down at the Queens 53.
Let's see if Saskatchewan can build off that huge Riker Frank run.
They need Riker Frank to sustain offensive drives. Here's Frank again, and he's hammered hard by Justin Pace, the controversial middle linebacker for the Queens Gaels. Remember, spent 3 games suspended this year for a vicious hit on Waterloo quarterback Nick Orr.
Doesn't hurt to give it to Riker Frank once again. See what he can do this time. Justin Pace is there, meets him at the hole for a minimal gain.
Wow, big back against big linebacker. What a collision. It's only a gain of 1, 2nd and 9 for the Huskies. Here comes the rush. Screen to Riker Frank, and he'll be well short of the first down. Short by 5 yards on the play as Eric Johnston, the defensive tackle, makes the tackle.
Ran the ball, Riker Frank twice, got shut down on the second time. Want to see if you can make some usage with him out of the backfield with the screen. But again, that secondary front seven are there to eat it up. Minimal gain, and we're about to see a punt from this Huskies punting unit. Russell Weir, the former backup quarterback, now turned receiver, back to return for the Queens Gales.
Scott standing at his own 50. Russell Weir, the lone man back. He makes the catch at his own 6-yard line. And look at the punt cover by the Huskies. There's no return on the play. And Queens will be in very poor field position to start their second drive of this half.
Yeah, Mark, what's different from the Yates Cup last week is last week the defense was having so many turnovers that Queens actually had favorable field position on almost every single offensive drive. This week around, they're starting almost all their drives from their own 5-10 yard line. They're going to have to work to get into good field positioning, work for those touchdowns, and work to their way down the field. Completely different from what they had last week in the Yates Cup.
Breaking back to work after that 7-play, 87-yard scoring drive to open the second half.
Check number 4.
First down, the handoff is to Kasari, crashing off tackle, and Goldstone is there, and not much there. Cack also throwing the running back into the end zone.
Reese Cack all over that. Jacob Goldstone all over that. Seth Hundeby spying over the middle all over that. They know the run is coming. They know Queens wants to create a little bit of cushion. Jared Kasari was able to pick up just 2 yards on that run.
Now what do you do? 2nd and 8, deep inside your own end. You've got to be careful here. Breaking though with the ball. Under pressure. He's got to scramble away from Parks. He's in the end zone. Parks giving chase, and he'll throw it out of bounds. So this will be 3rd down for the Gaels, and either they punt from their end zone or they give up a safety.
Yep, the pocket broke down quick. The pressure got home. Charlie Parks is working Jazz Kari off the edge. And as you can see right there, Braken can't find anyone, but he doesn't want to give up the safety, so he throws it away. Amazing job by this front 7. Reese McCormick almost got the tackle. Charlie Parks almost got the tackle. The pressure is getting to number 12 all day.
This was a defensive response from Saskatchewan after they allowed the first scoring drive to start this second half by Queens.
Absolutely. You don't want Queens to build momentum going on the stretch. You want to set a precedent early.
So Matt Driver stands in his end zone. Will he give up the safety that would still keep it a 1-score game? And it is a safety given up by Queens to make it 16-8. It still remains a 1-score football game after the Queens offense was stifled on their second series here in the second half. You're watching the 2025 Mitchell Bowl on CBC.
Elle revient toujours. Impossible de t'en débarrasser. Nicotine, si elle entre dans ta vie, elle ne te lâche plus. Même consommée occasionnellement, la nicotine peut provoquer une dépendance.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
The top 2 teams in Canadian football descend on Mosaic Stadium in Regina for the 60th Vanier Cup next Saturday at 2 Eastern. Get your tickets for the Party on the Prairies by visiting usportstickets.ca. The 2025 Vanier Cup on November 22nd in Regina. Chase the glory. So the Huskies with an 8-point lead. First down at their own 35. Daniel Weeb, the Canada West most outstanding player, is not on the field. It's a big loss for this young quarterback. They really need a player like Riker Frank to help carry the load, and he'll get the call. No, it'll be play action. The catch is made outside for a first down And a gain of 13 yards on the play. Mason Grabowski, who made that big touchdown catch last week in the fourth quarter, has his first catch of this football game.
They go empty set to the boundary, a rollout to the field side, and Mason Grabowski's right there in the flats. Jake Farrell's able to connect with him. Grabowski picks up a couple of yards after the catch to find the first down.
Grabowski's touchdown was his second career touchdown last week on only his third career reception. I mean, these are young guys being pressed into the service with Daniel Weeb, the veteran, out. Play action again. Farrell rolling, he's going to go ahead and slide and takes a shot on the play, but no flags. Gain of maybe 1 yard on the play.
The Queens secondary had that shut down. And Jake Farrell had no option but to tuck it and run and actually slide before Grable got to him.
So Jalen Grable was the Queens defensive end who made impact on the slide right over the top of Farrell's head. Officials conference, but no flag. So 2nd and 9 on the play. This is a pretty edgy Queens defense. They've been in some trouble this year for some late hits, but no question, they play like a wolf pack. And they're led by their ringleader, Justin Pace, the middle linebacker. 2nd and 9, tough down here for young Farrell. Four-man rush from Queens. Farrell gets the ball away. It's complete in zone coverage. Lenny makes the catch to move the yardsticks. Dawson Lenny from Martinsville, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and this was a great read by Jake Farrell. He sees the pressures coming. The pocket's slowly breaking down, stands in there. Lenny runs the hook, around a 15-yard hook. Jake Farrell waits for the play to develop and is able to get it in. And of course, that's a first down for these Huskies.
This is a young quarterback trying to navigate this ferocious defense and a very experienced secondary, a ball hawk secondary from the Gaels. So 13 yards the gain. First down now as the Huskies move into Queens territory. Handoff is to Riker Frank. He breaks the initial contact, bounces outside. Now he's galloping across the 30-yard line and a big first down. They need Riker Frank to help them on offense with the loss of Weeb.
And Riker Frank, like I said before, will not go down on first contact. He takes the handoff. We'll get the replay in a second, but he takes the handoff. He's able to break one tackle with a beautiful stiff arm, find some daylight. He's in a race with Justin Pace, and of course, it's the safety, John Corskadden, that makes the tackle to bring down the Canada West All-Star. Another big run from Frank.
Daniel Weeb off the sideline and back on the field for Saskatchewan on first down. At the 26, play action. Farrell to Peachinen, diving, chopped down by Seaway for a short gain on the play.
Yeah, Jared Seaway was right there waiting for Liam Peachinen. They were sitting back in zone coverage. Jared Seaway saw Jake Farrell look down Peachinen, and he broke on that ball and made the tackle to prevent it from being a further gain. Just a 3-yard play.
So Weeb stays in the huddle for the Huskies on 2nd and 7. Jake Farrell, his first-year starter, being forced into the fray after Anton Ammanrud left the team and then was diagnosed with cancer. Farrell under pressure, throws it downfield. It's intercepted by Justin Pace. Pace is taken down by Lenny, but this big middle linebacker, another big play by him after 2 turnovers 1 week ago in the first half of the Yates Cup. He's got another one here in the second half against this young quarterback. So Pace, the ringleader, turns the ball over, picking off young Jake Farrell, and Queens takes over when we come back.
Where does bravery live? In William Danjanu, who's breaking the mold of a short track speed skater with every stride. And in Sonia Schmidt, who spends her off-season planting trees to afford her Olympic dream. It lives inside Mikkel Kingsbury, who dared to speak his dream out loud and then dared to make it come true. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
Middle linebacker Justin Pace with a huge interception here in the second half to snuff out what looked like a promising Saskatchewan drive. 1 week ago, he had 2 huge turnovers against Laurier, including this one, a pick 6 return for a touchdown against Cal Wither and the Golden Hawks. No question, Justin Pace is a huge factor on defense, and he looms large right here, intercepting Jake Farrell. Now, back to live play. Vraken's pass was knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and they'll rule it incomplete as it's returned to the end zone by Carter Stadnick. Reese McCormick got his hands on the pass.
Justin Pace just having a phenomenal playoff run. Again, 2 turnovers last week in the AIDS Cup. A turnover today. He finds himself all over the field. He's involved in every single play, and he's being rewarded for it here today.
2nd and 10 for the Gaels. Here comes pressure. Ball is away, complete to Tuioti. They'll have a gain of 12 and a first down. Seth Hundeby makes the tackle on the big H-back for Queens.
Another drive that's going to start deep in the Queens zone. And Alex Vreeken's going to have to find a way to shred this secondary and move that ball if they want to put some points on the board. They're going to have to work for every single yard.
First down at their own 35, the Gaels. Down by 8, a swing pass to Falcone. Falcone with a block and more, a straight arm and a first down. A gain of 14 yards on the play for Nathan Falcone, the lead receiver in this Queens offense, who was shaken up in the first half.
And at 5'8", 180 pounds, Nathan Falcone is so elusive with the ball in his hands, so I understand that. You want to put him on the flats on that bubble screen, get the ball in his hands, and let him do his thing. Let him run his routes. Let him find some holes in the secondary and find a first down.
So the Gaels finding some holes in this Huskies defense. Now with a first down at their own 49-yard line. Vreeken, a gritty competitor, standing against this rush. Fires a short pass to Logan Walton for a gain of 6 on the play. So Vreeken and the Gaels taking advantage of short passes here and picking their way downfield. Alex Vreeken, remember, he was injured badly in the last 2 seasons, a broken wrist and then a concussion. His career was at a crossroads, and he said he told his coach, I'll respond, I'm not going out like this. He worked all off season, went to the Red Blacks internship quarterback camp in the summer, and has come back in his 5th and final year determined. Vreeken throwing downfield for Falcone. It's too far, and it hits the field incomplete.
On that play, the offensive line did an amazing job of bracing for the rush, bracing for the pressure. They held it down. Alex Vreeken had time to go through his reads, stare down Falcone, but again, another overthrown pass. A lot of deep shots taken by Vreeken today, but a lot of overthrown passes and missed opportunities on this offense.
He's had receivers open, D.
Yep.
But you're right. He's failed to connect. So 3rd and 4, a punt situation for Driver Daniel Kabongo, who took one back 85 yards in the second quarter, is back to receive this punt. It's a high spiral from driver to the sideline and a perfect position as it goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line and allows no return from Kabongo.
Yeah, Kabongo brought one back 85 yards earlier, so you don't want him touching the ball again. Punt that ball out of bounds, let him catch it as long as it pins them deep. And you see that little vertical right there from Daniel Kabongo, but greatly executed by Queens, and it's going to allow or force this Huskies offense to work with a long field and earn their yards.
Yes, they flip field position on the Huskies now, starting this drive at their own 15-yard line. Farrell facing the toughest opposition of his young career, coming mid-season to this position for the Huskies. He'll hand off to Riker Frank. Frank going off tackle. It's a short gain. 2, maybe 3 yards as he is wrapped up by the rush end, Jalen Grable.
Yeah, Jalen Grable was waiting for Riker Frank right there. I understand you hand it off to your insurance policy. You want to establish the run and see what you can get with the always consistent Riker Frank. But that front seven saw that coming and shut that down real quick.
Second and long. The Huskies deep in their own end. They need 7 yards. The ball at their own 18. Weeb is back in at slot back. Rolling to the wide side of the field is Farrell under pressure, and he just throws it out of bounds. And so the Huskies will have to punt, and Farrell looks like he's flustered a little bit here in the second half.
Yeah, the front seven is making him uncomfortable on that play. Justin Pace, a series after he had his interception, just came with the pressure, forced Jake Farrell to leave the pocket, and of course, there's no receivers open, so Jake Farrell just throws it away. You see Justin Pace right there, runs right through Riker Frank, has an open lane to Jake Farrell, and there's nobody there.
Well, perhaps a smart decision after giving up an interception on the previous series. Scott, big punt. Cross to the 46-yard line, and St. Arnaud dances left and right and has nowhere to go. Teschlu downfield to lead the tackle for the Huskies, and their punt cover has been almost perfect.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. St. Arnaud broke a few tackles right there, but Teschlu's able to come in and finish that tackle. Zeri's in there as well. No yardage gain. Queens has to start now from, it seems like their own 35, own 40.
They'll spot the ball at the 48-yard line of the Gales. First down for Alex Vreeken. In this Kingston football operation, a tunnel screen to Falcone. You'll have a gain of 6 on the play before Reese Kack makes the tackle. Check that Ashby Jacobs, the receiver on that play for Queens. So a 6-yard gain. Reese Kack making the tackle. And again, Vreeken picking his way down the field with short passes.
Yeah, Ashby Jacobs has been a little bit absent today, but is able to make that catch. But Reese Kack read that and was able to stop his rush, come back, find a receiver, and make the tackle. Very, very impressive from the defensive line.
This will be the last play of the third quarter. Here comes pressure. Vreeken stands in, throwing downfield. He's got it! Logan Walton inside the 10 and steps out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Logan Walton, 5 catches in the regular season, and now he's become a centerpiece for the Gales here in the playoffs.
He's been their #1 receiver today. And listen, again, the pressure came. Alex Vreeken stood tall, was brave, let the play develop, saw Walton one-on-one, and was able to put the ball in his breadbasket. Didn't overthrow it. Walton came down, had Carter Stagnick beat, and another big play for the Gales to put them inside the red zone, and now they are knocking on the door of a touchdown.
But for a stumble, he was going to the end zone. Logan Walton with that big play. The first time that Vreeken has been able to connect on a deep ball here this afternoon on the final play of the third quarter. And the Gales threatening, down 8 when we come back.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe, no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Where does bravery live? In Marie-Philippe Poulin, who went from playing in a boys' league to trailblazing a pro women's league. And in Cynthia Appia, who refuses to let the high cost of sports slow her down. It lives inside Piper and Paul, who use every fall as a chance to bounce back even higher. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
First down, Queens. First and goal from the 6-yard line of Saskatchewan. Vraken throws to the end zone. It's knocked down and incomplete. Carter Stadnick, who was beaten on the last bomb to Logan Walton, was not going to be beaten this time.
Yeah, Carter Stadnick was all over the receiver on that play, got his hand in there, broke it up, and Alex Vraken looking for just a crosser over the middle, similar to last week in the 8th Cup on his first touchdown, but just couldn't connect.
Another look at it here. Great coverage by Stadnick to deny the Gaels on first and goal from the 6. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. Big play here from Vraken and the Queens offense. He'll throw to the end zone again. It's incomplete. Oh, so close. Looking for Walton. He got one hand on it in coverage from Cameron Kahn, but couldn't bring it in. But Logan Walton, who was a spare part during the regular season, has become a key piece of this Queens offense, which will have to settle for a field goal attempt here.
Yeah, Logan Walton, he ran the fade route, got one. That would have been a highlight catch. That was about to be a highlight catch right there, but just couldn't haul it in. Cameron Kahn was on him, on the hip, got in a little bit of his hand, and of course on contact, dropped the ball. What a huge play from Cameron Kahn to keep this an 8-point game for now.
Tyler Mullen will attempt this field goal from the 13-yard line with driver to hold. Down, up, kicked, and good. So the Gaels climb ever closer to the Huskies, down 16-11. And it's the second-year receiver out of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Logan Walton, as I mentioned, a backup player who had caught just 5 passes during the regular season, missed 3 weeks at the end, and has come back in playoff time to become a key player in this Vraken pass offense.
Yeah, and there's 3 things that Logan Walton is doing correctly today. In the zone coverage, he's finding the sweet spots and getting himself open for those passes. When he's in man coverage, he's beating his DBs, and when he has opportunities to make catches, he's finishing his catches. He has been their #1 receiver today and making a big difference on that offense.
Farrell fumbles the snap, gets it back, throws downfield for Liam Peachnet. It's short and incomplete. Close coverage on the play from Jared Seaway of the Gaels.
Yeah, that play was stung from the beginning. Of course, Jake Farrell, as we saw, bobbled the snaps. He even had a couple of low snaps last week, or high snaps, picks it up, and he kind of rushes that pass a little bit. It's a little bit underthrown. Peachman comes back but can't complete it, and Seaway was right there to break it up just in case. Great coverage by the Gaels secondary.
A week ago, Farrell had a high snap. He went back, tried to slide on the ball, bumped it and fumbled it, and it turned into a 41-yard touchdown by Brandon Wong of the Rams. You know, that would have crushed some first-year starters, but not him, as he led their 15-point comeback. Here's a long pass for Weeb. He's got it! Daniel Weeb has been in and out of the lineup in this football game. Makes a huge catch to come to the aid of his young quarterback.
And you know what? It was the exact same look that Farrell had gave to Peachman before. Daniel Weeb ran the skinny post over the middle, found himself wide open, hauls it in, It's tackled by John Corskadden, and then after that he puts up the 11. That's a first down for the Huskies.
It's a gain of 38 yards to Weeb. The top player in Canada West this year. He's back on the sideline, in and out of the lineup here today.
He's giving everything he has.
Play action, rolling right is Jake Farrell. Farrell throws down to the sideline for Lenny. He had it, then had it stripped. Miller Melanson in great coverage there for the Gaels.
He's trying to plead his case. Jake Farrell rolled out and had Dawson Lenny running the crosser one-on-one with number 24, Ashton Miller Melanson. And Jake Farrell took that matchup. He said, I'm going to take my receiver, and I'm going to trust him to come down with it. But Miller Melanson gets his hand in there.
Big breakup.
Big breakup to prevent a big play.
Dawson Lenny couldn't hold on. The number 2 receiver in the Saskatchewan passing offense. 2nd and 10. Farrell has the ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. DJ Ryan gets a paw on that one, and it's 3rd and 10, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and there were a couple wide receivers that were open on the field side, so that was a big play by DJ Ryan because that could have been a potential connection to either Thomas Joulet or Mason Grabowski, but he gets his hand in. You saw Daniel Weeb across on the crosser, and it prevented what could have been another big play.
All right, this is setting up a field goal attempt from the 44-yard line. This would match the longest of Lucas Scott's this season. Good on 61% of his tries. This will match his longest. Scott from the 44. It's up and good, right down the middle. Oh, what a clutch kick.
Huge kick, Mark. Huge kick.
Lucas Scott matching his longest of the year from 44 yards. And the Huskies extend their lead.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Chase something.
Let's go.
More than just a flag. Chase a goal.
Push, she said, chase it, let's go.
Chase something. Chase rings. Chase gold.
Chase me. Nah, chase me.
Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL flag. Chase something.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
The Caravan are going back to the Vanier Cup after a big victory in Halifax today over the St. Mary's Huskies. The road to the 60th Vanier Cup ends next Saturday in Regina, and CBC TV is your home for exclusive coverage of Canadian University football's biggest game, the 60th Vanier Cup Championship, next Saturday at 2 Eastern on CBC TV, CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. Scott with that 44-yard field goal, matching his best of the season. And Queens back on offense. Tuioti can't hold on. The big tight end drops the football on first down.
And you got to believe he knew that the big hit was coming from the looming number 4, Seth Hundeby, who was ready to pounce all over him if he'd completed that catch.
Sometimes you hear footsteps when Hundeby's in the neighborhood.
Yep.
The big man, Mateo Tuioti at 6'4", 250 with a drop. And it's 2nd and 10 from the 35 for Queens. Pressure showing here. Hundeby looks hungry. Here he comes. Vraken with a quarterback draw. And he's wrestled down. Jacob Goldstone makes the tackle after a gain of 4, and so the Gaels will have to punt on 3rd and 6.
And you got to believe that Alex Vraken had no intention of going through his reads on that play. He knew the blitz was coming. Seth Hundeby came home real quick. Alex Vraken saw the hole up the middle and said, let me just take what I can get and see what we can happen. But of course, stopped on 2nd down, and now it's 3rd and 6 with a punt movement.
Still a one-score football game. Goldstone, the heir apparent to Hundeby, in the heart of that Saskatchewan defense. Hundeby in his 5th and final year. Matt Driver punting from his 25-yard line. It's end over end, a short punt. Kabongo picks it up at the 35. Upfield. Kabongo across center field and down at about the 51-yard line. So Kabongo, who's already brought one back here today, makes that a 12-yard exchange on the punt.
Yeah, Saskatchewan's blocking up the sideline is just so elite in this matchup today. You see Kabongo knows exactly, hey, I'm going to take the sideline. You see Grabowski's in there making a block. Lang is in there making a block, trying to open things up for the returner, and of course he's able to bring it past the 50 and put his offense in good position.
12-yard net on that punt after the return by Kabongo. They'll stay on the ground. The handoff is to Riker Frank, trying to bounce outside. And he's taken down on the play by DJ Ryan, the backup middle linebacker out of Mosierville, New Brunswick.
And DJ Ryan, as well as Ian St. Arnaud on that play, said, listen, instead of going straight at Riker Frank, let's slow down a little bit. Let's contain. Let him come to us, and let's make the tackle because we know he's so elusive and breaks most of his tackles on first contact. And that's exactly what they did for a limited gain from the Canada West All-Stars.
Scott Flory says Riker Frank, he's never seen anyone who loves practicing and playing football like him.
Called him generational.
Passing situation, Farrell throwing the ball, looking timid on that play. It hits the turf, incomplete, intended for Mason Grabowski. And so it's 3rd down for Farrell and the Huskies.
Yeah, and the will, Brandon Spence, came off the edge with the blitz right in his face, number 33. Never gave Farrell a chance to even go through his reads properly and stare down the receiver. You see Brandon Spence right off the edge. Look at that.
But he bobbled the snap, then couldn't make the fake to Peachinin on the jet sweep, and then just kind of like shot-putted the ball because he didn't have a great grip on it. So it all went wrong right off the bat. Ian St. Arnaud is at the Queens goal line, and Scott with a high spiraling boot to the 1-yard line. St. Arnaud surrounded again. Oh my goodness, he's hammered and taken down at about the 3-yard line. Teschlu, Carlos Teschlu with the big special teams tackle, the second big one he's made here this afternoon.
Saskatchewan's contained today has been amazing. You see Ethan Lang running down there. You see Teschlu running down there. And what they're doing, again, breaking down. Don't want to take any penalties. No yards penalties. And, of course, once Ian St. Arnaud catches the ball, that's when they attack. That's when they pounce. And that's when they make the tackle.
St. Arnaud has been absolutely perfect in making clutch catches under huge downfield pressure from this punt cover team from Saskatchewan, but he's had nowhere to go. Turn is 3 yards, they'll score it, so it's 1st down, Vraken and the Gales at their own 4-yard line. Vraken, play action. He wants to throw, finds Cedric Smith in traffic, and Smith will have a gain of 15 yards and a 1st down. Great play by Vraken and Smith to find a seam in that defense.
Absolutely great read by Vraken. Chose not to hand it off. Took Jared Kasari, rolls out, sees Smith, tells him to run up a little bit, and I'll toss it to you. Beats Anisu Lattimore, the Waterloo transfer, and of course creates some cushion and gains a 1st down.
Yeah, he was running out of real estate and out of time, and he finds Cedric Smith for that 14-yard gain. Vraken again to the air. The ball is caught by Nathan Falcone up near the 25-yard line. So the Gaels get 7 on that play, and they're digging themselves out of this atrocious field position.
Yeah, Queens has been really good taking themselves out of their own end zone today. The pressure, the problem comes when they reach the middle of the field. Can they get past the middle of the field, overcome that front seven pressure, and break through into Saskatchewan's red zone? But they've done a great job getting themselves out of their own 5.
2nd and 3 in this one-score football game. Ashby Jacobs on the bubble screen, and he'll get upfield to the 35. A gain of 9 and another Queens first down.
Yeah, they ran that exact same play in the 3rd quarter, and it was broken up immediately by linebacker Jacob Goldstone. They go to it again, get the ball in Ashby Jacobs' hands. There's some daylight, there's a little bit of open space, and he's able to bring that ball upfield and, of course, be tackled by Seth Hundaby, one of the best linebackers in the country, number 4.
Braken continues to be mentally tough. His great work ethic and resilience holding this team in. Play action. Braken stands up, throwing deep downfield for Walton. In and out of his hands and incomplete. Cam Conn in coverage at that boundary corner spot as the Gaels challenge him again with that deep ball to Walton.
Yeah, the big matchup today is Cam Conn versus Logan Walton, and right there Alex Breeken is preeing. He's looking at Logan Walton down the sideline. Cam Conn has to catch up and read Logan Walton's hands. Puts his hands there, didn't look back, makes contact, and breaks up the play.
After overthrowing so many deep balls, this time Breeken underthrows because Walton was open. Here comes pressure. Breeken rolling away. There's a flag on the play. Breeken fires it upfield. It's caught by Matt Camillo as he steps out of bounds, but a flag in the Queens backfield, and that indicates holding. We'll wait for the official call.
Yep, the pressure came on that play.
It is holding. They'll take it back 10, 2nd and 20.
Holding, 67 Queens, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Penalty is on the Queens center, Riley Sherman.
Yeah, you see it right there.
Oh, he grabs Charlie.
Yeah.
He grabs Charlie Parks right there.
Number 99.
To save his quarterback. So 2nd and 20 from the 25. Braken throwing deep downfield, and a miscommunication there as Camillo cut in and Braken threw the out.
Yeah, a miscommunication, but one thing I want to highlight, even though the Queens offensive line was flagged for holding on that last play, they've been a lot better in the second half dealing with the pressure, protecting Freakin from this coverage. Freakin has stayed up a lot during this half. I don't think they've given up any sacks, so it's really great to see how they've been able to make that halftime adjustment, deal with the pressure, keep their quarterback up, and give him a chance to go through his reads and make some big plays.
Matt Driver has had some shanks. He needs a big one here with Kabongo, the lone man back to receive. It's a good one here, a high spiral. Kabongo will receive this at his own 45, goes back 10 yards, gets to the wide side looking for a block, cuts up inside. Now to the sideline he goes. Kabongo across midfield, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Another big return from Daniel Kabongo sets up the Huskies offense in great field position.
Daniel Kabongo, another big return, is able to take that ball in, cut to the other side of the field, follow his blocks, and of course make a big gain.
The last 2 punts have netted only 26 yards.
Elle revient toujours. Impossible de t'en débarrasser. Nicotine, si elle entre dans ta vie, elle ne te lâche plus. Même consommée occasionnellement, la nicotine peut provoquer une dépendance.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
The moment is almost here. There's still time, but not for long. November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. One game, one champion. This is where memories are made. Don't miss it. Buy your tickets now. VanierCup.com.
U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win U Sports prizes. Join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca.
Mark, I've made my decision. I'm joining the fan advisory panel.
Okay.
You joining with me or what?
I'm with you.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. Well, Kabongo's been a force on special teams. Look at this field position. First down at the Queens 44. Frank takes the handoff. He's got a seam and a big first down and a gain of 11 yards, gashing through the heart of that Queens defense.
Yep, the pressure came off the edge. Stephen Kipe was in there, and Riker Frank saw a hole to the boundary side, took it, found a couple yards, first down for this offense. And you could see the pressure was coming off the blind side. But Riker Frank, always reliable, an insurance policy for this offense.
Huskies in a one-score game need points on this drive. Big gain by their big back. First down, the handoff to Riker Frank again, a pulling guard, he's looking for help, face puts a straight arm and then finally forced out of bounds after a hard-fought gain of 3 yards on the play with pace right there. And they're gonna mark it back a little shorter, make it 2 yards.
Went to Riker Frank again, similar play, and the defense picked that up. Brandon Spence went for a tackle. Asher Miller Melanson went for a tackle. Pace was right there to clean it up. Pace has been all over the field all day.
Second and long, 2nd and 8 with Weeb back in the huddle for young Jake Farrell and the Saskatchewan Huskies.
Check Weeb in the slot.
Weeb motioning, the handoff is to Frank. Frank outside, he rampages very close to the first down marker. Riker Frank with all kinds of motion in that Saskatchewan backfield. It looks like they're going to be short.
All kinds of motion, all kinds of trickery, but Riker Frank finds a hole that was opened up by Derek Bobian and is able to gain some yards, but Keegan Bannock makes a key tackle that might prevent this from being a first down.
Saskatchewan is keeping their offense on the field. They converted 74% of their first downs this season, #1 in Canada West. And so Cohen Wright is in at quarterback on this third down gamble. He'll drive forward, get a push, and it looks like he's got enough. Bannock trying to haul him back as they dig and scratch, poking that pile up. But Wright is helped off the pile and has pushed enough for that first down.
No tush push needed. Cohen Wright is able to go in there with his 6'3" frame, take that ball and push forward.
That was Grizzly in there.
That was Grizzly. It was. It was. Cohen Wright, second snap of the season for him. Making big plays when they need him the most. On third down with a trip to the national championship on the line.
Big 2 yards from the backup. Cohen Wright elevated from #3 after poor Anton Amandroot had to leave the team for health reasons. So a big first down. Any points on this drive makes it a 2-score game.
Cover one flat.
Double tight formation. The handoff is to Riker Frank. Off tackle right, and he's stacked up. Not much going in there. It's a gain of 2. So for the second consecutive time, a gain of 2 on first down for Frank, and it puts the Huskies back in a 2nd and 8 situation.
And that secondary was playing a flat cover 1, which means there's no cushion. They're standing at 5 yards. They are ready to embrace for the run and come to the party to make the tackle, but they also trust themselves in man coverage. On that time, they saw the run, got to the party, and were able to shut down Riker Frank for just a 2-yard gain.
Less than 4 minutes remaining in regulation time. On the 2nd and 8, Farrell gets the call from Mason Nias and Scott Flory, the former Huskies quarterback, up in the booth as the offensive coordinator. Flory still calling the plays from the sideline. 2nd and 8. Here comes pressure. They'll run the ball. Frank beats the first man, cuts back upfield, and tries to get to the middle of the field. Very smart for his kicker as he puts the ball right in the middle of the field. After a gain of 2, it'll be 3rd and 6 in a field goal situation for Lucas Scott.
And I think the big thing to look at is how much clock the Saskatchewan Huskies just burned on this possession. They are burning the clock, and they want to leave the Queens Gales with as limited amount of time as possible to get back into this game as we embark on just 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
So it's a 24-yard attempt on 3rd and 5 for Saskatchewan. 24 yards right down the middle for Lucas Scott, who was 4 for 4 last week in the Hardy Cup. From the 24. Scott up and good. 22-11. And now Scott makes this a 2-score football game. The Huskies, with back-to-back field goals, extend their lead with less than 4 minutes to play.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Feel every hit, point, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline. Our passionate team unlocks a world of possibilities with digital broadcasting made simple, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. Proudly Canadian, ISI Live, be there.
Back in Saskatchewan, and Riker Frank once again has been the security blanket, if you will, of this football team. Look at his numbers. 107 yards on 18 carries for a 6-yard average here today, and really bulldozed Saskatchewan to that field goal situation.
Yeah, it's been a hard day for the passing attack of Saskatchewan, but it's been a great day for Riker Frank. He's been able to protect the ball, break off big runs, break tackles, and just give this offense life in what's been such a tough football game against that fierce Queens defense.
We've hit the 3-minute warning, exactly 3 minutes. Had there been 1 second less on the clock, Queens would have to take a kickoff, but now they can scrimmage from the 35, and they do. And that quick pass is to Nathan Falcone for a gain of 8 yards on the play. So had there been 1 less second on the clock, they'd have to receive a kickoff, and special teams has been mightily in favor of Saskatchewan.
Absolutely, absolutely. Clock is taking 2 minutes and 48 seconds left, and now it's a 2-possession football game. Can Queens come back?
Pass is away, it's complete to Matt Camillo, and he'll scramble upfield for a gain of about 10 and step out of bounds at center field. So 2:40 to go. Saskatchewan and Queens with 2 timeouts remaining. And Freakin gets the ball away quickly. Wide open, sitting in that little zone on the sideline was Camillo.
Check number 13 at the top of the screen, Logan Walton.
Freakin, he's got time now. He'll throw a sidearm intended for Walton, and he can't make the catch. It's incomplete at the sideline. 2nd and 10 from the 55 for Queens.
And the Saskatchewan secondary was playing cover 3 defense. They stuck to their assignments. Of course, all zone eventually turns into man. The play developed. Freakin went through his reads. The pocket broke down, and he found Walkie on the comeback, but was not able to haul in the ball.
Second down and 10, Queens. At midfield, Vreeken to the wide side. Camillo makes the catch, steps out of bounds short of the first down. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, and Carter Stadnick was playing around 10 yards off, and that's a really, really far throw to make. But in that moment, that's your only open receiver. He's near the sidelines. Get it to him. Put some yards down, and now we have a 3rd and 2 coming up.
3rd and 2 for a team that doesn't go for it on 3rd downs. They've got no choice here with 2:29 to play.
This is a big down.
Vreeken in the shotgun, hands off to Kasari. Kasari hits the hole hard. He's got a first down and more across to the 30-yard line.
Big run from Jared Kasari on 3rd down. He's able to find a hole that was made by Alex Hurst, number 78, break through that hole, find daylight. Jacob Goldstone makes the tackle, but not before the 2-time All-Canadian was able to pull off a big gain and a first down.
It's a gain of 16. Vreeken against a 4-man rush. He steps up. Will he run? He's across the line of scrimmage. It's caught on the far side, but it looked like he's across the line of scrimmage, and a flag has flown. Camillo had the ball. Did they rule it complete? It might be academic because I saw a flag on the sideline.
Alex Vreeken had so much space to run, but it seemed like he didn't want to take it. He wanted to go through his reads. It seemed like he wanted more, which has been a theme for
I
this
think
offense.
Vreeken was across the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. Yep. He was past the line of scrimmage. It's an illegal pass downfield. Oh boy. That hurts.
And in that situation, it might have been the better option to run.
Illegal forward pass, number 12, Queens. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So it's a 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Yep, and as you can see, Seth Hundaby is spying. He's spying over the middle.
He's well over.
Yep. Well over across the line of scrimmage. Well across.
1st and 20. Vreeken under pressure. Looks for Tuioti. Oh, and nearly intercepted. Lucas Sheck was gone to the end zone if he could have held on.
That would have put the game away. That would have put the game away. The pocket broke down. Alex Vreeken couldn't go through his reads, tries to get the ball away. And Lucas Sheck almost put the game away with what could have been a pick 6 if he'd really caught that.
Pressure mounting. 2nd and 20 now for Vreeken and the Queens offense. Flags fly, there's movement along the line of scrimmage, and it looked like Queens is going to be flagged for procedure here. There are 3 flags on the football field. False start against the Gaels.
Illegal procedure, 71 Queens. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Nicholas Henning, the right tackle, moved first.
And you see right there, he takes a step, and Reese Cack reacts immediately. Nicholas Henning, a 4th year.
It's a big mistake by the tackle, and is pushing Queens out of field goal range. Here's another look at 71. Henning. It's 2nd and 25 from the 46. Vreeken with lots of time now, rolling right. Now he'll throw towards the sidelines. It's incomplete. 3rd and 25, and right now they're out of Tyler Mullen's field goal range. His longest this year is 49. This would be a 53-yard field goal attempt if he can make it.
And Mark, what's turned into a promising drive has been spoiled by penalties, and now we're facing a 3rd and 25. When a couple minutes ago, it seems like Queens was barking or knocking on the door of the red zone.
That's 2 passes to H-backs that arrived just late. So the offense will stay on the field on 3rd and 25, and the play is blown dead as Queens calls a last-second timeout. So the penalties put them out of field goal range.
Yep.
And now they've got no choice
but to go for it.
Well, they're going to change their minds here. 3rd and 25. Steve Snyder thinks otherwise and says, let's go for it. Let's go for the field goal. So Tyler Mullen comes in. He's frustrated the head coach. They were in field goal range already and pushed back by the penalties.
And credit to his defense, they've done a great job of just applying pressure on Alex Freakin and taking off any of those potential passes. Yes, this drive has been hampered by penalties, but there have been a lot of incomplete passes down the stretch to take away any potential of moving the ball downfield in case the flag went another way.
Yes, the balls were late to both H-backs for sure. So it looks like they'll spot this at the 53 for Tyler Mullen, who is good on 84% of his field goal attempts this season. The North Bay native is longest this year from 49. So he's going into uncharted territory, and Steve Snyder feeling the tension. A 53-yard attempt by Mullen to keep Queens in the game. Here we go. Ball down, kicked, it's up, is it short? It's short to the goal line. Kabongo will return it for the Huskies and step out of bounds at the 22-yard line. So just too far for Tyler Mullen. And now with 1:47 to go, the Huskies have a chance to sign this off.
And that has to be a heartbreaking end to what seemed like such a promising drive for Queens. It really seemed like they were knocking on the doorstep of the red zone and potentially putting points on the board. And again, the penalties just moved the ball back. And of course, as you mentioned, took the ball out of Tyler Mullen's field goal range, and you walk away with 0 points from that, from what was a great drive.
1:47 to go in regulation time. First down at their own 22. Huskies hand off to Frank, and Justin Pace makes the tackle. Pace with a big hit. And it's a 3-yard gain for Riker Frank, who's really having to fight for every yard against this Queens defense. The Gales have used up one of their remaining 2 timeouts.
And if you're the Saskatchewan Huskies, you want to put the ball in Riker Frank's hands and tell him to bring us home.
Keep the ball in play, stay away from the sidelines, keep the clock running. 4 seconds on the play clock. Farrell just gets it away in time, hands off to Riker Frank. Frank stays on his feet, and he'll have a first down. It's a gain of 11.
Riker Frank doing what he does best, taking that handoff. Really simple, taking that handoff, protecting the ball, breaking 1 to 2 tackles, and picking up the first down to continue this drive, keep the ball in the hands of the Huskies offense, and keep that clock rolling.
Big time rush for Riker Frank. And now it's only a matter of time as the clock strikes 1 minute to play. They'll stay on the ground. Frank reverses his field, comes up the middle, and he'll have another decent gain up to the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play as the Huskies grind the ball, run the clock, and make it excruciating here in the final minute for Queens. The Gales use their final timeout with 52 seconds to play.
And there's almost nothing the Gales can do. 2nd and 4. It seems like the Huskies just need one more first down to truly put this game away. Riker Frank, not to be denied on that recent handoff, trying to put this game away and launch the Huskies back to their 3rd Vanier Cup in 5 years, but they just got to close out this game.
Scott Flory, the head coach, on the sideline with his young quarterback. We mentioned he brought Mason Nias back, a great quarterback that took them to the Vanier Cup twice in 2021 and 2022. Now working as an offensive coordinator and an assistant head coach. And he's been the quarterback whisperer for this young quarterback, Jake Farrell, helping to keep him calm, helping to understand, play within his own capability.
Yeah, Mason Nice did an amazing job after he finished playing. He was actually a QB coach at UBC and helped develop Garrett Rooker into becoming an all-star quarterback. And now in his first year back with the Huskies, being an OC, he's just been just a great mentorship in the ear of this young quarterback, getting him through such a tough stretch. And, you know, Mason Nice is part of the reason why Jake Farrell has been able to go 5-0 through these 5 games. And, you know, he's less than a minute away from going 6-0.
It's been an incredible run for this young man who's been forced into the breach at quarterback. 2nd and 4. 52 seconds to go. They'll hand it off to Frank. Frank up the middle, still moving his feet, driving, and he'll have the first down. What an effort, driving 4, maybe 5 Gales defenders backwards.
Not to be denied, it's only right that one of the greatest running backs in program history is the one who takes the ball and launches this team a couple more seconds closer to a Vanier Cup. Riker Frank, most running backs would have been stopped at the line, but no, he keeps churning his feet in his huge 6'2" frame and is able to pull off the first down and bring this Huskies team to move the chains 40 seconds closer to a national championship.
Imagine if you're a young quarterback like Farrell and you've got a back like that in your backfield.
What a
it
luxury.
Takes a lot of pressure off.
Absolutely.
Final seconds now of this football game being drained off the clock. The Gales not even lining up on defense. It's academic as Farrell takes a knee with 26.5 seconds to go on first down. Young Jake Farrell will be unbeaten in 6 straight games, 3 regular season, 3 playoff, since coming to the aid of his football team when Anton Ammonrud was forced out of football with a diagnosis of cancer. The clock ticking now, down to 6 seconds. They'll take a knee with 1 more play needed and 2.8 seconds left on the clock. 2 great defenses here today. Offenses challenge at every bound. Farrell played within his means. He'll take a knee, and that's it. The Saskatchewan Huskies are going back to the Vanier Cup for the 3rd time in 5 years, and it will be played on the prairies in Regina in 1 week's time. The Huskies, unbeaten at home this year, 7-0, turn back the unbeaten Road Warriors, the Queens Gales, this afternoon.
What a performance from Saskatchewan today. Really were able to buckle up and withstand that amazing, amazing Queens defense that gave everything they had coming out of the OUA. An amazing run from the Queens Gales this year, but Saskatchewan able to really buckle down in the second half, get it together offensively, and come up with some big stops on defense. And now the Huskies are going to play for a Vanier Cup next week, and they're going to play for number 11.
The Huskies prevail 22-11 in this defensive battle. Each offense managing only 1 touchdown here today. The 41-yard touchdown pass by Farrell to Weeb in the first half for Saskatchewan. And then that great drive, a 17-yard touchdown pass, Rieken to Cedric Smith on an 87-yard drive to start the second half. But other than that, it was special teams that got Saskatchewan to the promised land with that 85-yard punt return by Daniel Kabongo, and then back-to-back field goals of 44 and 24 yards by Lucas Scott. Kabongo, what a transfer opportunity for him to come to this program from Western. The Canada West Special Teams All-Star delivers here in the biggest moment of his career with that punt return touchdown. For the Gales and some of their veterans, this will be crushing. For Alex Rieken, who courageously came back after back-to-back injury-plagued seasons and led his team to this national semifinal, it will be his final football game as a U Sports athlete. A young man who grew up in Kingston, a ball boy for the Gales, idolizing that 2009 Vanier Cup championship team, wanted to be like them, but it will not be this time around for him. Scott, though, coming through. He was 4 for 4 last week in the Hardy Cup, 2 for 2 here today in the field goal department after a shaky season in which he missed a last-second field goal in their only regular season loss against Manitoba, and then missed 3 more in a game this season. He has been absolutely rock steady, and the Huskies, this program that's been knocking at the door, as we mentioned, 3 times now in 5 years, going to the Vanier Cup. They were beaten in back-to-back games in 21 and 22, losing to Western at Laval in 21 and losing to Laval at Western in 2022. Huskies will be in search of their third program Vanier Cup title after winning 3 in the 90s under Brian Towers. Scott Flory will be searching for his first.
And Mark, you got to believe it's been extremely impressive what this team has been able to do. They might not have been able to win a Vanier Cup so far in this decade, but to go to 3 Vanier Cups in just in the 5-year span is something that you rarely see in youth sports football, and it's a credit to this veteran group. A lot of these veteran players that we talk about, Daniel Weeb, Seth Hundaby, Riker Frank, Nathan Goulet, Derek Beaubien, Jack Warwick. These are players that were around in 2021 for the first loss. They even have players on the coaching staff that were around. Mason Nias, the quarterback for those 2 teams that lost in the Vanier Cup. So this is 5 years in the making for this group, and for a lot of them, they're going to be looking to finally finish the job next weekend in Regina, basically at home in the prairies, and they're going to be doing against a very, very good Montreal Caravans team.
And remember, there are 9 veterans on this Saskatchewan team that tasted that bitter defeat in the Vanier Cup.
Both of them, both Vanier Cup losses.
Like Daniel Weeb, like Riker Frank, like Seth Hundaby. For them, this is the last chance.
This is it
to be a Vanier Cup champion.
This is it, because after this, a lot of those players will be gone, and it's going to be a little bit of a retool in Saskatoon. And so this is the last chance with this group, and so to get it done, or to at least get there one more time, means the most it could possibly mean to this program.
Getting there without their all-star quarterback,
could have won the heck.
Yes. Probably could have won the.
Absolutely.
If he stayed, he would have been a heck right candidate.
He was on pace. He had thrown 14 touchdowns. He had thrown 0 interceptions through 5 games. He was the most accurate passer in the country.
Yep. And without a full-time role from Daniel Weeb, the Canada West most outstanding player this year, in and out of the lineup, he makes the biggest play on offense, that 41-yard touchdown catch in the first half. So they've been banged up. They've lost some key players, but they've managed to prevail.
And you got to believe, credit to the coaching staff for being able to keep their players composed.
Saskatchewan wins this Mitchell Bowl 22-11 over Queens as we go to the field.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Raul Garcia, and it is my pleasure to be your host for the 2025 Mitchell Bowl post-game ceremonies.
Bon après-midi tout le monde, je m'appelle David Krall, votre animateur pour la cérémonie de l'après-match de cette Coupe Mitchell 2025.
Please welcome Shannon Chin, Huskies Chief Athletics Officer, to present the Nike Defensive Player of the Game Award.
Veuillez accueillir Shannon Chin, directeur de sport des Huskies, pour présenter le prix de joueur par excellence défensive du match Nike.
From the Huskies, number 4, Seth Hundaby.
The Huskies numéro 4, Seth Hundaby.
And once again, Shannon Chin, Huskies Chief Athletics Officer, is here to present the Nike Offensive Player of the Game Award.
Veuillez accueillir Shannon Chin, directeur de sport des Huskies, pour présenter le prix de joueur par excellence à l'attaque du match Nike.
From the Huskies, number 15, Daniel Kabongo.
Des Huskies, le numéro 15, Daniel Kabongo.
Please welcome U Sports Director of Sport, Mark Alfano, Steve Mitchell, and Shannon Chin to present the 2025 Mitchell Bowl to the University of Saskatchewan Huskies.
Veuillez accueillir Mark Alfano, Directeur de Sport de U Sports, Steve Mitchell et Shannon Chin pour la remise de la Coupe Mitchell 2025 aux Huskies de la University de la Saskatchewan.
We would now like to welcome the Huskies captains to come forward to receive the trophy and banner.
Nous invitons les capitaines des Huskies pour recouvrer la Coupe Mitchell et la banner du championnat.
Congratulations to the 2025 Mitchell Bowl champions, your USask Huskies!
Félicitations aux champions de la Coupe Mitchell, 2025, les USask Huskies!
The Saskatchewan Huskies are the 2025 Mitchell Bowl champions, winning a national semifinal for the third time in 5 years. After back-to-back Vanier Cup disappointments, opportunity knocks once again for this team anchored by brilliant veterans like Humdaby and Weeb. Will they be the team of destiny 1 week from now here on the prairies when the Vanier Cup pits them against the Montreal Carabins for the national championship? Today they prevail 20-11 over the Queens Gaels, maintaining their unbeaten record at home. This team, so hard to beat in Saskatoon, travels south to Regina in 1 week in hunt of that elusive Vanier Cup. Thanks for watching, and so long.
U Sports on CBC and the road to the Vanier Cup, brought to you by the Government of Canada, Nike, Baron Rings, Veriburn Medical Supply, Fox 40, BioSteel, and by Wilson, makers of the official U Sports football.